A brown. He wants brown.
Like
Our
brown or
new
dark?
constable.
Put a logo or something.
Yeah, Town of Hartford
Oh, just
Constable.
the, yeah.
Okay.
You now live.
Okay.
You what?
Live.
She braved the cold.
And then there were 3.
I know, this is odd.
It's so cold.
It's cold out there.
For one night, thank God.
See,
It's just about 6:30 according to the clock.
6:29 to be exact.
And Paul and Leslie, hello there, kids. Good. Did you bring the warm air and sunshine?
No, I haven't.
No.
Probably should, but I haven't. How you doing?
Rick, are you going south this winter?
Again.
Again?
Chair.
That sounds crazy. Sorry.
You sound sorry.
I'm going like kind of southwest. I'm going to Perry. South Paris, yeah, my office, yeah. Over across the mountain. South Perry, yeah.
I don't good to see you. Take a little yellow.
Anybody want a cocktail?
The camera's okay.
Maybe when you're speaking over the camera.
So I think like trying to drive. You figure out.
I want one. No, I want to smoke.
Break down at the end of the season.
It's a tough strong, it's actually really good.
It's a white co-star. I read it.
You do
I'm
build
not showing my cup though.
it. You can't go.
Yeah.
Son-in-law built to the builder. How he helped you.
Oh, I'm ready to start.
No, he's still.
Yes.
Driveway.
Everybody's ready?
He worked for
Good evening. I would like to call this meeting to order. Thank you all for braving the cold. What a nice group we got. Very cozy. All right, we're going to start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. First on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the February 4th Selectmen meeting and the February 11th Selectmen workshop. Everyone have a chance to read those? All right, all in favor?
You just double check. Sorry.
Was that 3? Oh, you gotta read them?
Sorry. Yep, that's right.
Okay, all in favor?
Sorry.
I sign them.
Yeah, we was.
You're not used to being that first person.
I am not. No.
That's cute.
Mhm.
Just gonna swear you can say that. All right. Next is approve warrant 18, payroll warrants for February 5th and February 12th.
One second.
I did. I don't know where they are though.
Right here.
Maybe we should roll in these shelves.
They're all in order. How's John doing his job?
Good.
So far, so good.
This one's awesome. This one's awesome. Anybody online to see if it's working? Would you,
Yeah,
I take all
Neil's
those.
monitoring.
I'm gonna turn this on.
What did you say, Hannah? What did you say?
Neil's monitoring
Oh,
it.
yep.
Awesome.
There's that. And
Okay.
sorry. Thank you.
Have you all seen this? Okay.
I'm sorry, it's Sunday, Monday, whatever day. Okay, is there any information or RSU 10 report?
Did you vote to approve the warrants?
We
I
did.
had a
Yep,
motion,
I
a
second.
second.
All in favor? I'm pretty sure we did.
Okay.
That's okay, we did it again. There's no RSU 10 report. Is there anything from the road commissioner?
No.
Oh. Okay. Road committee report. Anything going on new with the road committee? No? Besides, I know you have an ad hoc committee for your helping the bid committee come up with specs.
Oh, can meeting first of March.
Excellent. All right, constable report, except for he's not here tonight. We have hired a constable. His name is John Asim. Very nice young man, and he will be our maintenance person and our constable. He started his maintenance training last week. He got to go to all the properties, learn all of his duties, did his mandatory trainings and filled out his paperwork, and we're pretty excited to have him. And he's already shoveling and cleaning and doing great stuff. So, and we hope to work with one of our local providers to get him a shirt when it's time for him to start doing more constable stuff. So, yep. Welcome to him. Code enforcement report.
Nope.
Oh, end of the month. Anything from the ACO today?
No.
Okay. So our animal control officer, I reached out to her a couple of times, and today twice, and in today, both calling the two phone numbers I have for her. It went both into voicemail, didn't even ring. I also left her voicemails and texted her today asking, we're looking for updates on our kennel licenses, and she's supposed to be submitting a monthly report, so we've not received those, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to reach her, and Leanne's tried also, so.
What do we want to do about that?
Well, as soon as she calls back, I'll be calling a special meeting.
Okay.
Is that a paid position?
Yes,
So what does she do? I've heard more about the ACO from that Brandon Holmes or whatever from the other town than I have our own ACO in our own town.
well,
That makes sense.
our ACO's not required to get on Facebook and play
No,
nice,
I
but
know, but you don't see anything that she's doing anything, she never reports, and how much
Is
does
not
she
very
make?
consistent on reporting, correct?
How much is her paycheck?
I have no idea.
156 a month, plus
And
mileage.
she can't even do a report each month for that.
So we're addressing that.
So I talked to you earlier about late fees, dog license late fees. We still have 2 kennels that haven't been, as far as I know, inspected, so we can't renew their kennel licenses. And there's 25 per dog late fee now. And I've never waived it because it's state law, but if you guys vote to waive it, because it's not the kennel
It's not the
owner's
kennel's
fault.
fault.
Right.
Have they been in?
One of them,
Okay.
Good.
Well, we can't hold them to task if she's not been there, which is part of her job.
so if you voted to waive it,
And you feel confident that they're on the up and up, that the ACO has not been there to their kennel. Okay. I feel I should make a motion to we waive those late fees for those 2 kennels that have nothing to do with the reason why they're late.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? How does that affect our state reporting?
it stays with the town, the late fees, but it is in the law that they have to pay after February 1st. So I've never even questioned it, but this is our fault.
Our fault.
Yeah.
Okay. So, can we put on the, next agenda, executive meeting, please? I'm happy to send, continue to call the ACO and ask her to attend. Okay. Planning board report, which I think is this the
It's
planning board?
it's not really a new report, I'm just trying to get some clarification on things that keep coming up. We know that the scanning project didn't go through, and we're gonna try to organize that, with the town scanner. So I had some questions about that. Like, you did tell me today that you can scan to a USB?
Yes.
Yeah, Jaylene and I were talking about this. We can scan, or you can scan, however it gets scanned, but we can name each file and put them on our website. That way, it doesn't have to be sent to you and then sent back to us. And
Yes, but we're trying to do this so we don't have to be using clerical time that's being billed to the town. We're trying to do this as a cooperative project with the planning board at this point, because, the estimate was so many hours and so many boxes when we went through that process. So we're trying to figure out a way to do this piecemeal, and probably the most time-consuming aspect is the indexing, which I have been working on quite a bit of time, figuring out how to index all the planning board documents as it is.
but you want them on the website, and we put things on the website, and so we'll
Right,
have
well,
to,
once they're indexed, then, okay, well,
it wouldn't take much just to rename them and them. I mean, they're gonna be scanned to my computer. We'll just rename each one by map and lot and then figure out how to put them on the,
I had the opportunity this weekend to talk to somebody who's done extensive scanning projects for several law offices. And she said that you really need to check after you've done a document to make sure that you have all the right pages in the right order. That organizational part is the big piece of it. And I'm just gonna say, I've been working on this for quite a while, but if the town wants to pay clerical staff to be doing this, which is quite a,
Right.
the clerical staff gets salary, so.
well, I'm just trying to not,
There's going to be, I think we equated like 72 hours that would be involved with this. It's huge. And that doesn't count removing staples and get everything ready before you can even scan it.
Yeah, but they're scanning. You said you can scan all you want. We'll just rename them before they go on.
So Okay, so when the copier scans and you put in one document, right, one document at a time,
Or
Say it's-
one group.
one group.
Yeah.
It'll then go into a file on the copier. You have to tell it where you want it to go. Do you want it to go to, I don't know if it automatically is set up to go to your email now,
Mine or Barbara's, but you're gonna send them to me,
okay?
to
So,
my computer.
right, but she's the one who has to look at it to see if it matches all the files, if she's scanning it. I mean, if they all come in, if we scan and I'm there with them, and they scan in this big group, after it goes through, and if it sits in your email, she still needs to verify that every page was scanned.
So that comes to the paper copies, which I want to keep. Just bring them up, leave them all with me. I can check them.
But you understand that they're going to be in piles that aren't going to be totally organized. I
know.
don't know, I mean,
I'll have to open it, make sure it's all there, and rename it by map and lot.
okay, well, I'm just going to say that the document retention record stuff by the state, most of the things we have in there do not need to be kept physical copies. The only thing that really does is the subdivisions if they've not been registered with in the registry of deeds. So we don't actually have to keep 100 years of paper if we have good systems with redundancy for electronic record keeping. I do see that maybe for so many years, we might want to keep the most recent stuff because it may be easier to go back and look something up. But when you get back, we have things going back to the 80s and the 90s. And the time that I've been on the planning board, a couple of times I've been asked to look at things that happened the last few years, but not something a couple of decades previous. So, as it's a planning board's closet, the planning board doesn't have control over the materials then?
I think the materials belong to the town.
What? Okay.
But it's all.
Yes, ma'am?
I have my property record files, they have things
Oh,
back to the 80s, 70s. I'd rather make sure I have, because I don't always get the approval sheet from the planning board. I'd rather get them all, compare to my files, and file them if I need them. If they're duplicate, then we won't keep them.
So are you saying that you just want them for verification, not for long-term archiving? Is that what you're saying?
I probably already have the applications. I don't want you to just throw them away. I want to make sure I have everything you have, because
Oh,
I
I
have.
understand. Okay, so that's a different issue. Because we have like 6 copies of many of the applications in there. And that's why we want to get, right? And.
And I was trying to explain that to folks that you might, there's a lot of organizing. You're not gonna scan 6 copies of the same
No.
application. There's a lot of prep work before you're
And
ready.
since '22, all the applications are already digital. So we've already been moving, since I became the chair, we've already been moving on this project. And I think if you go to any company that moves to digital, be it any part of the government, a hospital, a law office, they don't then keep all those records for an indefinite period of time. Even your taxes, you don't have to keep your records past 7 years. And closing my medical practice, same thing for medical records. So I'm just saying, we haven't finalized this with the planning board to come up with a plan, but we will discuss how we're going to deal with the things that are now electronic and don't need to have paper copies with current levels of redundancy.
Correct.
That's all I'm saying. And someday, over that closet might get worked on that way too.
You are scaring me. That is awesome. I've opened that door. Luckily, I didn't ever pee the day that I was here.
I can't wait to have access to that one once you clean it up. Put stuff in it.
Right.
So,
Space is a premium.
so we're gonna have to both have access to the indexing, I think, because she wants to index and we need to have it in a way that the planning board can access the indexing.
It'll be by map and lot number.
But you don't understand, there's other documents, Well, mostly it's the minutes, but until you go through everything, you know,
Yep, she created a folder for subdivisions and we just need to see what we have and we
Okay.
can create more.
we want to index by map and lot number, by name and by,
That's not gonna happen.
no, you don't understand. A database can be indexed several ways so that you can pull the records up by several different.
Yeah, but that's not a database. You're just scanning documents.
Okay. Well, right now we've organized them by when they were done. The planning board closet is organized by year. Each application is in a file by the year it was filed.
Okay.
So we anticipate having things organized that way so that we know when we did a certain job, we can go look at it. And then you can have things cross-referenced when you look up a name or a lot.
I don't think you can file a PDF more than one way.
What's that?
Can you file a PDF more than one way?
You can do that when you might file
Put it in
Skiing.
different files?
it. Because I mean, you can scan a file to a PDF
Right.
and then you can put it wherever you want.
Yeah, but she wants to search by name or map and lot or date.
Well, yes, so you can have your index that will go, my index will go by the year and the month. And then I made a list of which ones were worked on that year so you could look at clearly. And then you could have another list of your index where it will be a link to the same files, just,
Are we talking?
that's why the indexing is so critical.
Are we
So
talking
that's
about on the
redundant.
website, or are we talking about within a file structure, like a folder structure? When you say
Well, she's
index,
talking about the folder structure, and I'm talking about indexing so you can retrieve it again.
So people can look up information on something from 6 years ago that
so, right, so we're still talking through a website, right?
That's what I've already done that for the planning board, but
Right.
now they want to start doing it in a different manner I was taking my key from the way that's been done for like 34, well, back to the 80s, so that's almost 50 years now. I was trying to do it with the same structure that's been established, historically.
The question I asked you about the Google Drive, this is the lady who,
Right, so, I mean, you can do the indexing within the Google Drive, it's just that the Google Drive needs to be a part of the town, not part of the personal drive.
Well, right, and I did that to start off
Right.
until we had methods to
Right.
transfer it and use it some other way. Because I've been working on this organization project for 2 years now.
well, if you could come into the town office on a Tuesday and talk to Jaylene and I, and we can figure it out, rather than take up their time.
is it Tuesday, one of the days you could
That's
visit?
the one day I work.
Could we make a time for Jaylene to come in at another time?
She has other jobs, I don't know.
But if we give her enough notice, she might be able to give us.
I could change the date that I work, a couple of weeks, but.
If you need somebody to help, I'm willing to help.
Awesome.
Well, we had anticipated Lenny and I doing the document preparation, like getting it in the piles, and then going over there with the piles, and the scanner that probably has a feed of 100 pages, I don't know how many feet it is, you do 100 pages, and then you would look at them and make sure you've got everything, and then you get an index, and then you go to the next.
Yeah.
The
So are
next-
they all the same size papers?
Pretty much, yeah,
That'll
pretty
make it a
much
lot
all the
easier.
same- all the same sizes. The math is another issue, but we'll focus on those later.
All right, great. As always, thank you. I know it's a huge project, 2 years. And I've seen those dusty documents.
Well, I
Makes me
started
wanna
off by
cough.
looking at commercial town programs for organizing stuff. I mean, I didn't know where to start.
All right, ordinance committee. Is there anybody here that wants to report on that? Actually, you guys haven't met yet.
We have
this
a
week.
meeting, it had to be canceled because Joe was, worked out perfect because I was gone, so.
Okay,
Next
Thursday.
next Thursday?
That's when,
27th at 6 p.m.
Which they'll need the town hall unlocked.
Okay,
That's
Thursday. Hold on. Thursday, February.
what time?
What's that, the 26th?
6.
6?
It's the 27th at 6 p.m.
27th at 6 p.m.
Isn't that Wednesday? Is that
I think it's Thursday, isn't it?
Thursday.
It is Thursday?
Okay, thank you. Okay, next, fire warden report, we probably have nothing, but we,
No, I did reach out to Baxter and he said he was gonna try, he's very busy, but he'll try to report on nothing soon.
well, he could
That's
look
fine,
up
nothing
numbers, he
to-
could say this is how many were,
Something.
Yeah.
Permits,
so permits
summary.
in Hartford.
Yep, and he was gonna try to come to a meeting at some point, because I don't think he's met all of you.
Nope. Okay. Treasurer's report, bank reconciliation, January.
I don't know if everyone's saw it. I don't know if you saw the auditor, they recommended that another office clerk review everything. So Barbara's been going through it and asking questions and
We did see
initially.
that, that was one of the recommendations.
Do you want
And
that?
that
or
we
you-
sign off, right? Which we did.
Just the balance.
We were waiting on this the last meeting, it wasn't here yet. Okay. Thank you.
There was something about a sweep account. Did you get that statement yet? That was on.
Yep. Yeah, I can't finish without that sweep account. And it
Okay.
came,
Okay.
came after your last meeting. Takes about a week or so.
All right. Cemetery committee, anything new? They're all doing good? Everyone's still buried? Even deeper now because of the snow.
They don't talk back. You're good.
Solid waste committee, I think they have a meeting coming right up next week on the 26th. All right, recreation committee, they probably have nothing going on right now. All right, calendar reminders, comprehensive plan review committee meeting is next Tuesday here at 6:30. Solid waste committee meets on Wednesday at 6:30. Planning board is March 3rd. We know that ordinance is Thursday, February 27th at 6 p.m. And nomination papers are available for select board and road commissioner on March 3rd, 2025. Okay, unfinished business, fund balance policy. So I have a couple of things. Changes I'd like made to your, based on the stuff I read. What have you got? Leanne?
What about, you got these. I don't have
Yeah.
anything other
Okay.
than what I prepared before.
Awesome, yep. I went through all of the documents I printed for you guys last week. Looked at comparable sized towns and what they were looking at for how much to put away. And Leanne's proposal that she got out of Scarborough was 20%. And a couple of the ones that you recommended the last time, it was on that fund balance policy, it was 20%.
I put in the 20%. I don't remember what they had, but
So, but after making a couple of phone calls to towns that were similar to ours, correct. And MMA had told us, oh, this stuff's right out there, and it isn't. I had to go to town sites and call people to get copies of their fund balance policy. So, but a lot of them were saying 3 months, 25%. Does anyone have a problem with 3 months in excess fund as
Most-
a balance?
what did the auditor say? Didn't she say 6 months?
I was about to say, 3 months is halfway between one tax collection and next. So it may or may not carry.
So, based on what the other fund balance policies, nobody recommended 6 months, even though I love the security.
Do you know, did you ask when their taxes come in and whatnot?
No.
Twice a year? Probably twice a year if it's,
Most-
well, 6 months would be twice a year.
Once a year.
Yeah. Right. Ugh. But most of them were saying 25%, 3 months. Whatever that aggregate is. So, I don't, as you look through those fund balance pages, you'll see a lot of them are like 18 point something %. I want to make sure that we have plenty in there, just in case if the economy makes a drastic change, that we have enough to keep everything going until the next tax period or things change.
I like 25, 3 months.
Do you think we should be going higher than that? You recommended 20%, which is,
Yeah, that's fine.
and that's 25, that's higher. More.
Yep.
What do you think? And then there was one other thing, right here. On, the one that you had sent to us, under the outlay reserve accounts. I really would love to see a town hall, we've got one for town office building replacement, Summer road reserve, paving reserve. I would love to see some money set aside for this building, so that when we do go out and look at grants and stuff, if they say, oh, you're gonna have matching, it'd be nice to have some money in a reserve, that we could say, we already have that.
So just like an improvement account or the reserve?
Specifically for town hall, I think
Yeah,
that's what you're saying,
specifically for
right?
town hall, yeah.
So that would be on the warrant, if you agree, that would be on the warrant for town meeting to put money into that.
Yep. So if you guys read through these fund balances, we're gonna be mandated at the end of the year at town meeting to distribute funds in our overages into these funds. Or
No.
tie them, or put them against town taxes, like every year we put 30,000, we have been putting 30,000 against our budget to help keep taxes low.
So,
But we have to make decisions at every town meeting, if we have this much in our capital budget fund or whatever, our fund balance, when we have this policy, if you have excess, you have to be able to put it in one of these accounts or offset taxes. That's what all these
Raise
fund balance,
raise taxes to supplement the reserves, or you can take it from fund balance if it's approved at town meeting.
correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yes, Jay?
Is there any way to do the overage towards the reappraisal?
Absolutely, we have a fund out there for our reevaluation reserve. So those are all things that we can present at town meeting and make decisions to funding that, because we know that number, we heard everybody, the guy came, that that number's pretty high. We want to prepare.
So I have a question. Did you have one?
I just need your survey because March is dedicated to the budget, getting the budget ready.
I have
She's
it.
got it.
So I have like 3 copies of the draft fund balance policy, and I went through it, trying to learn it, and of course the numbers have changed. The first one we got, I took notes on from the auditor, and then the second one was in a packet after that, and it
It's one with
has,
signatures on it.
yeah, and there's like, right, so the first one we had capital, equipment, animal, legal, veterans, reval, road reserve, and goodwill supper. And over here, we have paving reserve, town office buildings, summer road future. And then I'm like, and then I'm looking at my budget and I'm like, none of it like lines up. So I'm not sure what's the most accurate piece of paper.
What's missing from one of them, and I'll tell you.
So on the second one, like the Goodwill supper wasn't on the first one, the
That-
town office building replacement wasn't, and the summer road future repair wasn't. And then on the budget survey, there's like no animal control, the summer road
Right,
repair
so-
wasn't on there.
So on your survey,
Yeah, but
we hardly ever raise money to put in animal control or
Okay.
town hall reserve or summer road reserve.
Okay, so these, On the
This is for
budget?
the budget.
Right,
yeah.
so this is just to request
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for these particular, not
Right, do you-
necessarily all of them.
right. Do you
And
want
you have
to,
blank lines, so you can put whatever you want here.
Okay, well, that's what you said
Okay.
I was gonna ask a lot of questions.
yeah, those are just the regular ones that we
Okay,
supplement.
okay. Nope, I didn't understand that, thank you. But yeah, I don't understand why there's more on this one than on that one.
Because I probably forgot some and
Okay,
added them. I don't know.
So our current ones are capital outlay reserve, equipment reserve, animal control reserve, legal reserve, veterans monument reserve, reevaluation reserve, road reserve, goodwill supper reserve, because we used to do goodwill suppers, right?
what is that?
It was a supper full of goodwill.
Yeah, but what is it?
No, it's a great community organizing event. That's how I met people in town. I started coming to the community suppers when I first moved.
We used to do community
They
suppers
stopped
before
because of the
COVID.
So
pandemic.
we have that now?
Yep,
No, it's
donations
in
that they,
reserve.
donations that they collected were to be used to improve the hall.
Okay. And then what else we got? Paving?
So then we have the paving reserve that we just started last year, put 100,000 in that. Town office building replacement reserve, and then I didn't know we had this on here, but summer road future repair reserve.
Can I just mention that? Because I had an issue with this too. When I came back, there was this reserve, Summer Road Future Repair, and I saw the article at town meeting in 2018, and I contacted MMA Legal. I said, does this carry over from year to year? Or do we vote on this every year? He said, no, you're good. You don't have to vote on that every year. But this auditor that we just had, Kathy,
Yeah,
she says, no, you need to vote on that every year. So if we
right, we have to.
want to carry the remainder of the summer
Right.
roads expense balance to the reserve, we have to vote on it. So I'm gonna go with the auditor on that.
I'm gonna say that
Yeah, I
auditor
think
probably
that's
knows a lot more
probably
than I do. So this is for budget,
Right.
and
But
that
I
is.
just was wondering why some of it was on the budget, but not
But it's
all
not,
of it.
right, these are
Now
just
I know.
ideas on what you might want to put.
Right, now I know.
This is like in a dream world, what would you love to see happen in the budget? Hi, Ken.
Hi, did you mention a cemetery reserve? Is that on the list?
There's another one.
It's on budget, but it's not on this.
Sorry, thank you.
Yeah, don't forget the cemeteries.
This is a draft, we
Okay.
just put it together. So I can't put town hall, reserve at this point on here, because we have to vote on it first.
Yeah, it doesn't exist right now.
Right, okay. I'll take L off. So, but that was the, after looking at all those, it certainly covered everything, and it was wordy, just like Scarborough would be. But it covers everything that all the other ones do too, only it's just,
This is the one you're looking at with the ones with a list of reserves. So, yeah.
yeah,
It doesn't have the date on it either, like the original policies have a date on them or when they were revised or amended or anything. This one does from September 23, but the other ones don't. And I don't understand that.
so when we started working on it. It hasn't happened yet. We don't have a policy. Right, we don't really have a policy.
We have nothing.
So this is a scratch copy.
They're just drafts.
Okay, but this one's, oh, okay,
So this really
as
is,
of September
First
7th,
time.
2023. So I looked at the date and thought we had a policy in 2023.
No, never.
Thank you,
we've been talking about it, but
thank you.
so how are we gonna move this forward? We know we have to add in the rest of the,
I can amend it for the next meeting if you want. There's
yeah.
probably no rush.
Great.
So 25% and add the cemetery reserve.
Yeah. Now you just added some accounts into our account that you were managing. Do those show up on reserves here, those little,
I added accounts and
you were gonna close out some things that you were monitoring that were left.
the ministerial in school, that has to be voted on at town meeting, but
Okay,
yeah,
will those be reserve accounts too?
that's gonna be like a trust fund.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Put that on the agenda for next meeting. Okay. Spending and purchasing policy. Did anyone have a chance to work on that, go through it?
I looked at it. Are you purchasing an inventory?
It says spending and purchasing, I think.
I think this is the one that's in our pocket. So I'm looking at it and it's probably a little too big for our britches.
Yeah, I think it's a little too hard for us to manage.
Okay.
So can we just table that? Because we've got a long agenda ahead still.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Like by me.
Kevin, okay. All right, next on the agenda is dumpsters. So, I was asked to, they wanted some posters created to put on the dumpsters to let people know that they're supposed to be recycling and some of the rules. And so I made posters, and these are secondhand magnets that came off of another project. So posters labeled with the West Cove Drive, Pine Shores, private dumpster, Labrador Pond. It just talks about the dumpster rules and no cardboard boxes in dumpsters, please recycle, flatten, no construction debris, mattresses, blah, blah, blah. It also tells people to mark their calendars for Hartford bulky waste, when it will be June 14th, curbside. This dumpster is letting people know that, we know from all the pictures that there isn't a dumpster in this town that's not being abused. And we need to stop that. It's costing us money. It's when we can be getting credits directly. And the poster literally says, this dumpster is being abused and is now being monitored. And continued abuse could result in the dumpster being removed. So I think, Jay, you had said that you wanted these, so here you go. Yep.
Just, how are we gonna know when they switch out the dumpsters for the new ones, that those stay with us?
I'm in weekly conversations, if not
Okay,
3-4 days with Jerry.
okay.
So he's gonna let me know. They're doing a lot of great things over there at Archie's, by the way. I just wanted to let you know there, a lot of the employees, hi Lee. Hi. Yes,
Well, I just thought you might like to know. I was kind of hurrying along when I drove past the Labrador Pond Road dumpster today, which is Tuesday, which is the day that it's usually emptied. And one of the things I noticed, you know how those dumpsters are, they've got 2 plastic lids.
yeah,
And of course, one of them, obviously, somebody lifted up to put things in it, but the other one still had snow on it. And the last time it snowed, if I'm not mistaken, was on Sunday.
so you're thinking that it wasn't picked up
It
today?
was not empty this week. I mean, I didn't stop and check, but, snow is kind of a dead giveaway.
Yep.
Yeah, it didn't get dumped, and I wasn't able to hear much, if any, of what was going on, because I wasn't able to be here at the last meeting. So I'm not sure, did you instruct this guy to tip these town dumpsters every other week, the way they do the other dumpsters?
No, from my understanding, he was staying on the same schedule.
Okay.
They were at Garden Drive today.
Okay, well, I just thought I'd let you guys know.
Thank you. Yes, Jay?
I'm still not quite sure. I know BIM has 2 dumpsters, one at the corner here and one at McNeil Farms.
Yep.
I know, if I'm understanding it correctly, he pays for McNeil Farms dumpster himself, but the town pays for this one. And
We shouldn't be paying for any of those, one's a
I-
business and one's his.
I agree with that, but I think we need to look into, who's paying for this dumpster down here at Ben's garage.
Okay.
If it's us, I think that he should probably take that over himself.
Yep.
And then the only other thing that really
So
concerns.
I already have that answer. Jerry told me that it's the town that's being billed for that.
Okay,
So, and then Ben wasn't aware, so.
okay. And then the other thing that concerns me, about both of those is that they're both commercial dumpsters being tipped on Tuesday. So the town is paying for the tipping on commercial use dumpsters. I really think that any commercial use dumpster should be dumped on a separate day. And the owner of that dumpster should pay for the tipping costs out of his pocket or her pocket. It should not go in Hartford's tipping on Tuesday.
Jerry had offered to come and pick up all the dumpsters on a
Different day.
I don't think all the dumpsters should necessarily, and that's not where I'm going with this, but I think we should at
If
least
it's a
start,
company,
I think we should at least start with commercial, for sure.
Leanne,
Oh, I was just gonna say, I saw the garbage person go by like 3 hours late today. Usually they're here before I get to work.
Lee, would you do me a favor? Not tonight, 'cause it's dark and slippery and windy. If you could check that dumpster and see if it was empty, tomorrow.
I can check, but like I said, I'd like to know how they can use the machine to lift it up and dump it.
I just wanna
instead of
verify
snow
it
on
beforehand.
top.
If for some reason it had,
I can check it too when I go and do
Well,
that.
I can
I'll
absolutely,
take care of it.
I can absolutely check on that.
I'm just guessing they're behind today.
What's
It-
more,
it sounds like-
I can put the one up there if you want me to.
Oh, perfect, thank you very
I
much.
mean, I am on the solid waste committee after all, and I would go and buy that way.
great. So, I want to let you know that, they are making some changes. They are, actually, having people interview for their jobs, going through drug tests, providing uniforms, 401k. People are having to reapply for the jobs because they're getting big raises or darn healthy raises, and they're trying to set a new standard over there. They got new trucks coming. They've got even more dumpsters that's just arrived, and they seem to be making a concerted effort to get some
Exciting.
quality people.
What do you suppose that's going to do to our solid waste medical costs?
Going to cost more next contract.
But his end goal, from what my conversation with him the other evening was, they really are gonna be doing so much more in focused recycling. Because that's where they're gonna keep the costs low, because they get credits.
So they think that if they can talk the recalcitrant town of Hartford into recycling more, that it will cost us less or the same or something?
I do not know.
I mean,
All I know is what he's trying to do.
I really couldn't follow it very clearly on YouTube.
Yes, Penny?
I thought he was describing some new kind of truck that did.
He is, it's
more
on order.
automatic, more things, so there'd be less personnel involved.
And
There'll be one truck that has
He's
to
actually
be.
gonna use a new kind of container and everybody's gonna have to
Same
use
as-
their.
The trucks that he's ordered have two sides. One will be for recycling, one will be for waste. And it will have an automatic arm that will pick up the container they supply and in conjunction with the town.
So do we need to call Jerry and start with commercial dumpsters on a different day? He offered.
Yep, I just want to verify that there wasn't any changes to Lavender Pond. Did someone just forget it, or is that gone to every other week? I just want to verify that. So if I know if it's not, if it wasn't empty today, I'm gonna at least go armed with information before I call him. It sounds like it wasn't, so.
Do you need a list of the commercial?
Jay, do you have a list of the commercial dumpsters?
I believe it's only those two.
Just those two?
I can look and get back to you though.
Jerry's got one? So I'm thinking the guy on the top of the hill must have one too, but maybe it's not with Archie's.
What?
On Town Farm.
Main molding machine?
Mm.
I believe, when
He
Howard
does-
was
he
here, he
does.
said that they do have a dumpster, but that his is commercial dumpster and therefore dumped separately from the town.
I heard that as well, yes.
Okay. All right, so in my conversation with him, I will work on making sure that the 2 commercial dumpsters are built to the owner and picked up on a different day. Sounds good. Okay. Is there anything else on solid waste? All right. Greater disposition, I did get that information, thank you, Leanne, on the
Oh.
year and the,
Can we,
Oh.
I think you skipped something.
did I skip something? I got dumpster, so solid waste.
Solid waste policy.
Oh, solid waste policy, I went from dumpster to solid waste, it's the same one. Yes, I saw that policy in
So
there.
we updated it to include the new prices for tires, but at the last meeting, you were talking about only doing bulky waste at
Places where the people
properties
live.
with homes.
Right,
So I looked
That would
at,
also be true for weekly waste too.
you gotta raise your hand, I was talking.
for what was that, Leanne, Lee? For weekly what?
For the weekly pickup, I mean, you're not gonna do weekly pickup where there's no residents,
True.
right?
So at the last meeting, you said to send it to the ordinance committee, but the ordinance for solid waste gives the board of selectmen the right to create the rules. So if you want me to include that in the solid waste policy, I can.
I would like that. Yes, Kathy? And sometimes we look at things so many times, I know this was 2013 when this was written. But there's definitely a couple of issues in here that we
Like
probably want
What are
to
you looking
change.
at?
Section 5
On the ordinance? or
on the ordinance, yeah. So under B, it says, now just listen, let me read it to you. Construction and demolition debris shall not be disposed of by means of curbside collection program, but shall be collected and disposed of separately by the town.
It should say the town has, we have to have a way for people to get rid of it. But, yeah,
But it's, it says construction and demolition debris.
we have to provide a way for people to get rid of it. They can bring it to Archie's.
Wouldn't they get their own dumpster?
Right, but
Or-
it makes,
Great.
this,
I mean, that makes
I'm just
sense.
saying, it says right now,
That's how it's supposed to work.
but it sounds like the town is gonna go and pick it up off your yard. And when you pile it all up nicely,
You might want to reword that.
that's all I'm thinking. And then the next one down says, septage shall not be disposed of by means of the curbside collection program, but shall be collected and disposed of separately by the town.
Except for diapers.
Yes, poop. You
Oh.
got an outhouse you want empty, I'll just give a call to the town. So I'm just thinking
We have to
maybe is
provide
a,
a place for them to
could-
take
I
it.
don't know, but you better look at state law first and see what's required of each town.
yeah, but do you see what I mean? Does anyone else see what I read, hear what I read? Because I'm asked to do a lot of things lately, and I'm not planning on picking up someone's septage. That's the only 2 things when I read through it that I was like, whoa, we're doing that? And I understand it could be state statute, state law, but maybe we can just put it in wordage that just says that the town will provide you with the opportunity to bring it somewhere at your cost.
Provide you with the resource you need.
Because we did have a transfer station with a septic
Right. that's
dumping
why
site
I
at one
remember
time.
seeing that word septage, so one of the first times I read it was about the old dump, so it's like,
Too bad we lost that.
what's that?
I said, too bad we lost the dump. How did we lose the dump? How come it wasn't working or what?
Broke the rules.
Law of history, law of history.
All right.
So
So,
I can revise that for the next meeting?
yeah, let's do it. We are making progress.
What are you adding to it?
Yeah, you need to tell me exactly what to add.
Okay, so we're adding, agree to the new pricing for tires on there, right?
That's
Isn't that
already
in
been
there?
approved.
Fee of
Yeah.
$10, yeah.
We're also putting in here that curbside, a large item bulky pickup is for properties here in Hartford with a resident on it versus just an empty field that somebody fills up for a curbside.
I think that was recommended for weekly as well.
We don't pick up unless there's a
Oh,
residence,
okay.
right?
Good.
Archie doesn't stop at places that don't have a residence there. Unless somebody knows something I don't know. And then under section 5, if there's a different way we can word that, I can send you a couple of ideas.
I'll look up the
State statute.
statutes first.
That's it.
Unless curbside, on the demo, is curbside considered the weekly? So this is the ordinance, that would have to be approved at town meeting.
Yep.
You can amend the policy, but the ordinance has to go to town meeting.
Which is after bulky pickup.
I know, but you can put the bulky rules in the policy, because you can set the rules for the weekly
Okay.
collections.
Yeah.
But you can't change an ordinance by yourselves.
Okay, you mean the wordage that says the town's gonna take care of the septage?
Right.
Okay. Okay. Next is greater disposition. That just sounds so funny. Greater disposition. I did get information on the grader, just minimal information on the grader that we had. And I've got, thankfully, a couple of people looking into pricing because I was tied up doing a bunch of projects for our workers' comp audit stuff that is done and really great. And so, I don't have any information back yet. And thank you, Leanne, for sending that to me on Saturday.
What'd you get?
She sent me the registration information, the year and stuff. I didn't have any of that.
I have a whole folder here, which Kathleen made sure was up to date a few months ago,
Ooh,
asking me questions. Things I haven't done.
is that,
You can't have it, but you can look at it.
okay,
It's not copy.
I'll take pictures. I'll come to the office.
Okay,
My pile is tall, because I'm carrying.
I don't share.
That's fine. Okay, MMA lost control visit update. Now, is this the one from last year? Lost
No.
control.
This is James, who was here last week.
Okay. I just wanted clarification which one that was. We met with the guy that we get a discount program through our workers' comp. And he came, they had come in 2022 and looked at a few of, met with Leanne and kind of had a short checklist and Leanne had some books and he didn't even really look at them. He asked her questions. And so this new guy, who was a retired police officer, super nice guy from MMA, went right into our books and said, where's this, where's that, where's this? Where's your safety data sheets? Where's your, which is, even though it will give us a discount, these are mandatory and we have not had them, but we got them now. They're right here, right where they're supposed to be. We've got one made for the hall And for the town office, the one here at, the hall will be over on the counter here. It has every chemical, every soap, everything that is located here in this building on a safety data sheet. So if somehow the Ajax powdered cleaner, somebody gets into it and they wanna know, holy cow, what do I do if I get it in my eyes? It's here. What do you do if you ate soap? It's here. We are mandated to have this, we are not, material safety, how long have you had them in your office at Dodger's office? Yeah, a few decades. So, but we have them now, and they are pretty, they're up to date, they're in sheets, thank you so much, I have a few left. We do have it broken down for 2 different buildings, but both are identical, so we don't have to go, oh, well, we ran out of this one here, but we need to put it in this one. Whatever goes in one goes in both. And,
Don't buy a different brand of soap.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
so,
Oh, this is Ajax, not
this is all a learning process, isn't it, Leanne?
Yeah,
We
thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. And look, if you thought, look at all the chemicals, you think, what do we use here? Everything, even the spray white on, wipe off board, expo board stuff, all of that is a chemical, everything we had to list on here. So it is mandatory that they be in each building. It's important that our employees and our committee people know where those books are, because if someone came in and said, do you know where the safety data sheets are? We're supposed to know where they are. So they'll be on the counter here in a very recognizable purple binder that says safety data sheets. And I'm gonna put on the back, do not remove from building. And then we have one for the town. The town office too, which is awesome. And you would never know how many different bottles of hand sanitizers we have and how each one has their own little sheet. I threw away several or merged them together, and so, but, so we've got these, which brings us to code on that. Jay, have you got something to share?
Just a question, just a concern. The hall gets used by multiple people. Is there a policy or something that they're given for rules and whatnot?
There is,
And if there is, maybe consider putting on that, anything you bring in here, you need to leave with. Because if they leave something behind, and you don't have the sheet.
yeah, and they're supposed to, in our training last.
Thank you for thinking of us and leaving the soap, but we don't want it. You could bring it back with you.
We have an eclectic group of stuff. I threw some away, but we still kept stuff that I just couldn't help it. It had like 3/4 of it was full. I hated throwing it away. But in our training last week with John, the goal is that John's gonna take these over. And as he or Leanne buys things, they'll either send them to me and I'll send them over. They can print them off and print them for each, or I'll show them the site I'm getting them at.
John is,
What's that?
John is.
I'm sorry, he came a little later. John Asim is our new maintenance person and our constable. And he started last week. And so he is very familiar with the safety data sheets. He's used them in prior jobs. And so he had no problem being able to take over this project so that Leanne didn't feel like she had to. And many of the chemicals and cleaners and stuff are used in this building. He'll be the one maintaining it. So if he buys something new, it's gonna go in here. And the very first act that he did when he bought some new soap, Leanne took a picture of it so I could print the sheet, sitting on my printer.
You're training us well.
Nice. So, if this auditor walks in, that's why we do have to have, Leanne has a really great checklist out here, but we're gonna put it on bright fluorescent paper, that was John's idea, and stick it on the front of the refrigerator, hall use policy. And he's even talked about having Leanne help him create a checklist so people can use to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do when they leave the hall.
That's what we have for the summers.
We have copies right there, but they're white, they're on the wall, and people obviously aren't reading them. People are not reading them. They look like emergency numbers or something on the side. So we were just trying to make them more noticeable. I thought it was a great idea we had. write fluorescent paper and stick it right on the refrigerator.
I can do that.
It's a good idea. You'll take ownership of it, yeah. Yes,
Maybe you could transfer it to people once they pay their.
I do.
they already get it.
You do.
Okay, they just don't carry it with them the day they rent the home. And then when they're out, they can't wait to get out. So, yeah. But I like that he's got great ideas. What do you think of this? We've gone to all the buildings. He seems very, very in tune with getting things on.
So I will respond. I think we did all the training that was required. All of
Yeah.
us did. Fire extinguisher, video,
VDT,
Display.
yeah.
and if you approve the updated hazard mitigation, communication plan later.
Yep.
We'll be all set.
And I have, one of the things he talked about was job descriptions. And because our maintenance person and our constable hadn't started yet, he couldn't review them. But we had really out of date stuff, like constable was really out of date. And and he read that out of date policy, but because we don't have an employee at that time, he couldn't do anything about it, but we are fixing it. And it's not a position comparable to a police officer anymore, as it might have been in decades before. So we're working on those, but I know that the maintenance one, we pretty much got all done, and I've got the updated task list. That'll be a part of this job description. And I've done some research with help of friends to get constable, some other constable stuff for a job description, so we pull something together for that. And Lee,
Yeah, is the constable still going to be responsible for monitoring of the beach?
yes?
But the constable will have no cognitive enforcement power.
No, that's not true. He will still be able to warn and ticket vehicles and call to have them towed, and he will not be carrying, packing, or anything.
That hasn't in fact always been the case.
Yeah, he was just concerned about the risks to the town if there was an altercation between the constable and a resident,
And one
and
is-
how to prevent that.
And how to spell it right out in the job description that,
Or a non-resident.
right, that 911 is the first call that he makes when there's an altercation. So,
Yeah, and then they're more direct.
I'm sure he can hold his own, but we don't want him to. We want him to, he is all for following the rules, so, yeah. Okay. So we learned that MMA has got this great training site that has a bunch of online trainings that we weren't aware of.
You weren't aware of.
Excuse me. And that we have to use them every year, not just once when you arrive. So a couple of the trainings, or one of the trainings was done in 2022, and so we have to do them every year. So, but he's got us on course, and it's all good. He said we were the only ones, so good stuff. He was a nice guy. He's working with us. So, all right, job description, administrative ordinance, part 2 for the constable.
So I noticed the administrative ordinance part 2 has a list of most of our town officials, but it doesn't even mention constables, so that's a good place to put it.
It's a great place to put it, yeah. So we should add that.
Yep, so just or we could give it to the ordinance committee, or you guys, I don't know how you want to word things.
It's where almost all the other positions are, right?
No, that already went to the attorney, you said, right?
Right, but
We can.
he hasn't even replied to me, so we could send him an amended copy.
Okay.
Can we do that right away?
Tuck that in.
Tuck that in so that.
Yep,
It
just
sounds like
let
we're gonna
us
have a
know
lot.
what you want. What do you want it to say?
The whole constable job description goes in there? Or just the title constable with the,
Says job description.
Well, I think I gave you a copy of what MMA Legal said. They said they recommended it be in the ordinance and be detailed exactly what his duties are.
Yeah, I already read it.
It lists code enforcement, plumbing inspector and duties, town clerk, assessing, general assistance, road commissioner. That's it. And it lists some of their duties. I think it's a good place for
I
it,
think it's
but
good. It's where all the other ones are that are officials. Because he is an official. Okay,
so want to do it ourselves or send it to the ordinance committee or?
no, we want to do it ourselves because we sent it to ordinance, they already have a bunch on their plate. I want to get it done and out and approved by the attorney and back. We got a lot of stuff that's on the docket. Okay, so, the, constable job description, been working on that, so how about this week, I'll come and work at the town office for a couple hours with that and pull it together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
tomorrow.
can, I'll start it. I'll look at the statute and I'll start something, then we can work on it.
Okay, I've already got stuff started, I can just email it to you.
Okay.
Okay. I emailed you all the maintenance job description, the task list today, did you see it? No, because it's the new one,
Do I have it?
literally just sent it to you.
Here you go. There's the new one and the old one. Yeah, it just came today, so I didn't.
Sent it to June. So, you got the old list, it's the new list, basically it says his year-round duties, what he does just in the winter, and what he does spring, summer. Because there's some stuff he does year-round, so. And I put down whether it was monthly, whether it's including the new SDS book. So monthly check fire extinguishers, which, you know, are mandatory. Oh, by the way, good job. So you would think with our AAA fire, they come and do our fire extinguishers every year. There's a federal law that says that fire extinguishers have to be mounted on the wall 4 inches from the floor and under 5 feet. All, or 90% of our fire extinguishers are mounted not.
I think he
In that
corrected,
range.
I don't know if he corrected that one.
That was gonna be moved.
He said he corrected them all, except
No, that
for,
one's been moved.
maybe he didn't measure to the top.
I think that one's been moved, hasn't it? Wasn't it on the other side?
It has to be greater than 18 inches from,
Has to be higher than 4 inches and lower than 5 feet. But AAA Fire's been coming year after year and never said a word to us. This guy had the regulations right there and said, that will need to move, that will need to move. We're like, what? Leon had it done by the end of the day, took a picture and sent it back to him.
Yeah, over there.
Right, but still, showed him that we didn't know.
Yeah.
And I said, well, AAA comes in and inspects these every single year, they would tell us. He goes, no. Even Leanne says, they come in, they do their thing, and they're
They're
out
on
the door.
super speed.
So, but now we know, and John is gonna be reinstalling all of them. So,
So you have in here town office cleaning. I think we decided we'd take care of that.
where does it say town office cleaning? Did I
Um,
just make a appointment? Yeah, what line? Oh, clean bathrooms in town office, in town hall.
Yeah.
So I'll just take that out. Because you're gonna do the bathrooms there and the floors?
yeah, I'll start someday. No, I'm just kidding.
You're gonna clean your own floors too?
I do.
Alrighty. So it goes through like, it sounds silly that you might have to put it, but we've learned from the hard way, you need to write down, wash windows in town hall, spring and summer, make necessary repairs to broken windows, replace light bulbs, clean fan blades, dust window sills. And it tells you weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, winter, summer. what needs to be shoveled out.
So did you? I'm just noticing things on the old one, like the salt shed maintenance policy, the generator. Did you take those out?
Generator, check generator.
Oh, I thought everything was still in there.
No generator should be kept in there. Check oil.
Yeah, I thought it was still in there, I didn't. I just added.
Oh, it's under all year. Check generator. Okay, yep.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's the old one. I'm wrong.
I'm gonna make sure, it's in there, so I'm gonna put it back on.
Let me see it in there.
But that's all year. And Kathy showed them how to check that too, which was good. And checking the salt, Kathy showed them how to put the salt in for the water softener here
How do you spell buoy?
what's that?
How do you spell buoy?
Buoy, B-O-U.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't look right.
It doesn't.
Buoy.
And it includes the new buoys, taking them in, and when you put them in the water, they actually have to come out of the water and back to the garage. I know that sounds silly, but
If you're not specific, nobody goes above and beyond anymore. They're only
But
gonna do what they're
just
required.
leave 'em.
Nobody, like, goes that extra mile.
it's a pretty thorough list.
It's
This
sad.
other stuff, and of course, the job description said, and other things as needed. Covers the basics. So, I will update that task list, but I don't have a problem. Can we approve this now with the amendments? So I'd like to make a motion to approve the job description with the task list with the amendments.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Great. Good, good. Okay. New business, IT equipment issues. Hi, how's it going over there?
Good stuff.
We have been getting calls saying it's not working.
Everything's been working fine so far.
That means it's me.
Isn't that the way it goes?
It's a sign of something.
Anybody get any messages from anybody saying that they had not gotten anything? No?
And it looks like the max number of people that were signed on at any given time was 10, so.
How many are on there right now?
Right now, there's 9, including me. So,
Gotcha.
What's the significant amount? David who's in the room?
It's usually more than that, but
Because I've seen 18. Sometimes, put it up there.
So, and is there any explanation? I mean, Leanne knows what she's doing, so.
evidently not.
I will tell you that this process, there's a lot of steps, and if the steps aren't done in a specific way, that could be one reason that there's a hiccups. Beyond that, without actually seeing an issue, I can't trace it. So some of these issues could have been with YouTube, and I have done research, and there are a lot of people out there who do live streaming with YouTube that complain about mics cutting out, where it doesn't broadcast, where it works for a while and it doesn't work, and so we just have to narrow down to see, is it us or is it YouTube?
But
As of right now, everything's been working just fine, both video and audio. So,
I think someone else should run the computer. Please.
Who would you suggest?
How about Lee Holman? No.
No.
Well, in Leanne's defense, she is trying to keep the office open, trying to get ready for that meeting. She's over here, got everything trying to set up. She often has it on pause, waiting for us to get in here, so everything's ready.
Yeah, I usually do
Yep.
set it up a few hours ahead and then go live later on.
Do you start live or do you pause live and then?
I don't start it. I
Okay.
just get it ready.
Because I mean, as of right now, we're at 1 hour and almost 20 minutes and there really hasn't been any glitches. As of right now. But my point is that there's a lot of things that are outside of our control. Internet service, internet speed, how many people are on with First Light, because that's the internet provider, YouTube issues, so it's hard to say exactly what may have caused it, and each time could have been something different. But as of right now, everything is working fine. I'm more than happy to go over with you again the procedure that seems to work.
Okay.
Maybe you should have a checklist.
I do.
She does right here.
We went over it before.
She has it all printed out and all nicely typed. And, yeah.
How is
I
this?
don't organize that, girl.
How is the sound?
The sound's fine. Through my headphones, I can hear all you guys. I can hear you way back there. It really wasn't that bad. So, I mean, you might have some of your town residents, depending upon their computers, their internet service, they may independently have issues that may be calling in. It's hard to say without seeing their system. So if you have one resident that's overly having issues, then obviously they could, either hire me or talk to someone else and maybe take a look at their system to see if that might help them. Because I do know that there are people who have 20-year-old computers, so.
I know at the last meeting, I restarted it like 5
Right.
times because people were saying there's no sound. But
Right.
when I went back and listened to them, there was sound.
Right. So the other thing that I'm doing as well is through the Logitech software, which is what combines the cameras into one broadcast to YouTube, is I'm actually recording it as a separate file as well. And I'll teach you how to do that. That way, if for some reason there's an issue with YouTube, it'll still record here and save it on here, and you can always upload it as an additional
Okay.
file later on.
Okay.
That way, there's integrity to the meeting for anybody who needs to, see it that way too.
Wonderful.
So,
Plus Leanne uses that when she does notes after.
Mhm.
Besides all the notes she
The
takes
video,
during.
yeah.
right, but I think she looks at the YouTube video.
Right.
I'm actually talking a separate file that gets saved before it even broadcasts. That way, it's two
Yeah,
separate.
let's make it more
entities.
complicated.
Because what I'm trying to accomplish is if the mics do go down or a camera goes down, is it going down through YouTube or is it going down to the system? And by me recording it separately, I'll be able to tell if it's the system or out there with YouTube. So,
Good. Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Don't leave yet, though.
no, I'm here till you're done.
Oh, you're a sucker. That's awesome, thanks. Okay, welcome. Thank you. Order of election by municipal officers, that was in our packet. Every year we do this because every time you raise your hand with that needle, I think I've missed you have something to say. Every year when we're electing new officials, we do election the same time as the main municipal elections or any other election going on in June. And so included in our packets is that form that we'll need to agree to, which will set up our election for election day, which is the 14th? No.
June 10th.
June 10th.
Yeah, nomination papers are available soon, so I just need you to say that there will be an election this year.
So it's going to be an election. Okay. And it's for a selectman and for a road commissioner. Your sign. Do I need to make a motion and vote on it too?
Yep.
So I'd like to make a motion that we include these during the election process. All in favor?
I don't-
Oh, wait a second.
I think I understand.
So every year, when we have a regular election, like, say, it could have been a vote for bonds for the state or whatever, we come in and we vote, right?
Right.
This becomes a part of that. So when we come in and vote that Tuesday, this will also be on the ballots. It's a separate ballot from Hartford that says we're voting for one selectman and one road commissioner. When people sign up to go get their papers, and they fill it in and get the signatures they need and drop them off at Leanne, once those voters are certified, then they will go on the ballot for that vote.
Yeah, the town meeting warrant isn't approved until later on. So
This is one of the
I need
steps.
something now saying that you agree to hold this election.
Can we just say no?
No.
So but we do this every year, because we hold the election every year. Okay, all in favor? All righty. MMA workers' compensation re-verification inspection. So we get a really nice follow-up letter from John, who came from MMA. And we have to have a lot of things, actually not a lot, but quite a few things. The SDS books, which are done, job descriptions, annual safety trainings. We wanted the fire extinguishers remounted. He's working with,
One of these was the wood stove that,
yes,
I can't remember his name.
that one was Jim. It's Jim
Yeah.
and John.
Because you just talked about the meeting from last week.
Right. So,
One of these is for the other,
it's for the other,
yeah,
but this one says workers' compensation verification.
yeah.
So you
So
reverse
get them
it.
backwards.
So this,
Okay,
But
so we still have a ticker list. We have a,
Nope, James is gonna take care of it. The person who was here last week is gonna sign off on everything from the prior visit.
once we verify that we've got them done.
Yep, they're all done. He's gonna update them all, we're all set.
Because we still have that safety light to put up in the cellar. And John cannot do it at this point. We need to hire an electrician, but he wants to be here.
Yeah, I
With
already,
them.
I already talked to him.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Also, John has agreed, one of the things that we needed done was the plastic coating in the, over the insulation and
right,
stuff.
too.
And I know Dave Bowen said that he would do it, but John said he's happy to do it while he's here, and he'll just need to order the plastic to do it and a whacker decker, which I'm sure we can use over and over and over again. So, while we're on that topic, I do want to mention, we toured every building. There are so many projects that are only 3/4 done and not finished. Partially installed furnace. There's oil outside the garage building that needs to be moved, either to our inside tank or to the inside tank in the garage, which isn't attached to a furnace, it's only partially installed. There's just projects everywhere that are partially done. And when Kathy and I were going through last week with John, we were like, wow, I didn't realize that wasn't done yet. Or, geez, when was that done? 23 years ago, and it's still only this far done. So we're gonna be looking at those projects, because it'd be nice once a project was started, if maybe we could have finished it back then. But it would be great if we could get them going now. Like half the plywood's not up over there in the garage. There's like scattered patchwork pieces and then holes that go up, and the furnace is partially installed with like 2 oil tanks and, yeah. Yes,
Is the budget for maintenance, the maintenance person still $5,000?
it has not changed.
For his wages, for budget.
For his wages or for the projects?
Well, I guess I'm just wondering if you're adding a whole bunch of things that you want to see finished, and I'm wondering if there's a budget there for this.
We have maintenance budget for each building.
And many maintenance hours were not used in the prior half of the year, so he's got about 200 hours that he can spend. And if he can't get to a project in this fiscal year, he can start working on it next. It's already been sitting for 15 years. We can look at it, what we need, and see what we can do. I also know there are some folks that have offered to volunteer, and we are desperately gonna need you. We got picnic tables that the rec committee ordered that John's gonna put together, but we gotta get them hauled down to the beach and brought on down by the fenced-in area. And John is not a superhero, though he is wonderful, but we're gonna need some help to get those on the beach and get them mounted and strapped down to things. And so there's projects that people are willing to donate a few hours of time. We would love to have them. And we'll let you know when those are coming. Okay, emergency operations plan updates.
This is one of the things that James required.
Yeah.
I updated contacts and telephone numbers. Did you see anything else that needs to be updated in there?
Nope.
I haven't gone through it. I started to, and I want to take my time.
So this is the emergency plan, which is mandatory, and it's kept up to date with the new contacts and operations every year. So, and it's mandatory, and it's just updated it. It's already been approved, except for the part where you just changed the new contacts, right?
Yep, just the Board of Selectmen, Constable.
That's the only thing.
Yep.
We're required to have this.
But we should be all familiar with this.
Right,
Right.
we definitely need to do this. To be honest, every committee should have a copy of this, and because if something really terrible happened, it should be all hands on deck.
I just saw a page I missed. So we can table it.
Could you repeat that?
Page 26, I didn't
I
update.
said, I think everybody should
We
understand
have this because,
the emergency operations plan for the town. I just said, I think it'd be great to have some of our committees, have somebody on there, at least know what the operations,
It's on our website.
emergency operations plan is. Right, but how many in this room have really read it? If I ask you a question, would you know? No.
Yeah, but you're gonna have someone in charge. If
Correct.
there's an emergency, someone's gonna be here in
Yeah.
charge to tell other people what to do.
Right, but we should familiarize, I'm just saying, wouldn't it be good if we were all familiar with it? Right? Yes, Peggy.
I, for instance, was just making a note that I was gonna put that in the comprehensive plan stuff, because that's one of the categories we're looked at, and I don't think it's been mentioned that we have those things available. I mean, it's like, the town officially does things, then we have this comprehensive plan, but the people on the plan don't necessarily know all the town procedures, so it's not all together.
So if more people read this and knew who was in charge, it was a problem. It's great, yeah, comprehensive plan. Right.
is there any requirement, there used to be a requirement for, was it ISO, whatever, you'd have to. ISO? Take.
NIMS.
You have to take classes.
I don't think they've done it yet. Probably Kathy has.
Well-
The NIMS course over in
Yeah,
South
that's
Paris.
not-
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we did. I
You
did
did?
it. We did it together. Last, 2 years ago. They have an emergency management class. that we
Yeah,
took.
so, yeah,
So you want to
That was a
table
good
this?
class.
Table this, make sure I didn't miss anything else.
Or-
That's up to
Yeah.
you.
Next agenda, we'll go through, we'll help you.
Okay. Appointments and resignations. Do we have anything?
Yes, we have one resignation. Is it in your packet?
David Bowen has resigned from solid waste and he's resigned from budget committee.
True.
I would like to accept his resignation with regret. Big regret. Very upsetting.
Yeah.
All I can say is I'm very unhappy with people that
The harassment is ridiculous,
Yeah.
let's just say
I
that.
don't not
The
understand
harassment in
the
this town is
amount of bullying
ridiculous.
that goes on in a small community. So I'd like to make a motion to accept his
Keyboard warriors think they're,
resignation with regret. Have a second?
Yes,
All in favor? And do we have anybody in the book that is interested in serving? I can't read that.
I just have to say that Diane de Blasio, she let me know that she did not want to be on the Pratt Hill Ad Hoc Committee.
Okay. All right.
Did she also resign from the work committee?
No, she doesn't want to be on the ad hoc committee. So helping prepare for the bid. I'm sure it's a coincidence that Dave and Diane are stepping away from things. Okay, well, it looks like he doesn't, okay, yeah. All right, Dan LaRochelle is interested in being on the budget committee, and he's also put in a volunteer to be, to be our town's health officer.
With no pay, because you can't accept pay to be on the budget committee.
So,
He would volunteer to fill the health officer position.
Nice.
does he know that?
That's what he
Anyone know
said.
if he knows that?
That's what he said. That's what he told me.
Oh, good. I thought you were just saying he would volunteer, and I'm going,
No.
does anybody know that?
Yeah.
All right, that's what he told you, okay. Does it seem like he's qualified to do budget stuff? He sits on the planning board, right? We do. Dan LaRochelle.
Is he still?
Can't hold an elected position, can't be a paid employee, can't have a contract with the town over $3,000. I think he qualifies, as long as he doesn't accept pay for a health officer.
You want to nominate him for both?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd like to make a nomination to Daniel LaRochelle to be on the budget committee to fill David Bowen's position as all in favor? A second, so you all in favor? I'd also like to make a second nomination for Dan LaRochelle to be our health officer as a volunteer with no pay, which is how he can also serve on the budget committee. Do you know if he's aware that, Leanne, is he aware it meets in March and he needs to be at those meetings? April? Yes, he knows.
I don't think I told him that. But I will. Did you vote on that one, the second one?
I need a second. All in favor? Okay, great. All right. Training, we do have a training tomorrow. Did you guys get that in your email? This training tomorrow for GA assistants. It was emailed to all of us.
I'm having trouble with my email.
I did too. You have trouble getting in?
I'm having trouble getting email.
I had trouble getting in.
Because all three of us are invited, and I thought we all accepted to tomorrow's 10 a.m. training online with general assistance. So there is a training tomorrow.
What time?
I'll send you the link.
Wait, yeah, please.
Yep. Let me send you the link
If you
too.
don't hear from me, I didn't get it.
Okay. All right, is there any, I do have something for open sessions, so, but,
I have something to.
great. All right, review correspondence, is there anything?
That's for Dan, those two.
Nope.
Nope, I have nothing.
You know it's not me, because my phone's in the car. They're sending you the link.
I'll probably write on that as a volunteer, 'cause I didn't.
Okay. Is there any correspondence?
No.
Perfect. Agenda items for next meeting will be, we'll all review this emergency operations plan and be ready to vote on it, yes? If you have ideas or see anything missing, please let Leanne know so we can approve it next meeting. What else is going on there?
Executive session,
Executive session,
fund balance policy, solid waste policy, and grader.
and great, yeah, I'll get the information by then.
Administrative ordinance changes, you want to bring that back to the next meeting? For constable or?
Constable.
Well, that's gonna put it off the next meeting, it's not until March. We wanna get, we have other stuff that's gonna be going to that attorney, I just hate the thought of not getting stuff back.
You just can't approve anything out of a meeting, so.
I understand that, that's why I'm worried that,
Oh, we can change it after. After the attorney. thinks it.
Agenda items.
no, we're talking about that,
Constable description and
Administrative ordinance.
administrative.
adding it, because it belongs in there, everyone else's job description's in there. Okay, I'm working on the constable stuff, so we gotta have that anyway, so, yep, next meeting.
Okay.
Bunch of it's already done. Okay. Open session. Yes, Kathleen?
Did I miss the meeting where you guys went over the code of ethics? The new one, this new code of ethics? Is this something you're gonna pass out to each committee members and stuff and get that going? And
Yep, they all have to sign it.
there's a lot of things on here that have not been done in the past that really, I think people need to be accountable for their actions, either in the past or going forward, that I think should be recognized by the board.
Well, it's in there now.
So every committee member, I believe, is supposed to be signing that.
So select board members in the past have all signed code of ethics?
In the past, yes.
Yep.
Okay. That's all I wanna know. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
We'll see when elections come around.
Ken?
Last meeting, I requested during agenda or open session for information from FEMA on how much money is allocated for what roads. And I asked for it to be available this week.
Yes, Leanne?
That's something you need to come to the town office for. Bib and I are working on it. That's not a selectman issue to provide that for you. It's the town office.
This is a public meeting.
Mhm.
It was asked.
If you want documents, you need to come to the town office and request them. We do charge for copies, there's a process. The selectmen aren't gonna give you the documents.
And you're not.
At the town office,
He asked for it to be at the meeting last time.
he
Why
can come to
don't-
the
so he
town
must have-
office.
he has
If
to
anybody
come down.
wants copies, wants to request something, they're available at the town office. I'm not gonna bring everything into the town meeting and hand things out.
When somebody specifically asked them, why not?
Well, I want to make sure, though, that those FEMA numbers are out in the open and we know what's being reimbursed the way we've been promised for the last 2+ years. We brought it up at tons of meetings about how much we think we're gonna get and
You
what's
have the
going to be
numbers.
reimbursed.
You
It
have the
was
numbers.
discussed many times over the last year and a half in this public forum. Numbers on particular
Yeah, we have the numbers, I just want to make sure where it's going when it gets
That
here.
is not available during this public meeting.
It's a 20-page document, plus you have the FEMA document, which is 20 pages. Bim and I are comparing to see what's left to do, because there's like 1,000 entries. I'm not gonna be handing all this out and going through it at a selectmen's meeting. We haven't received the money yet. We know how much we're getting. We don't know when.
And you don't know how much.
You know.
Yes, we know.
They do know how much, they
is
just don't know what.
allocated
You want accountability,
for particular
transparency.
roads.
Yes, but we've already spent money. We've spent 200,000 almost already on these roads, so we have to figure out, we have to take that out of the list that FEMA provided to see what's left to do, plus it includes hazard mitigation in there, emergency work, permanent work.
So is it safe to say that you don't know?
Yes, I know. I have everything, I have detailed list of every invoice, what road it went to, how much it was, who we paid in a
That's all I
worksheet.
was asking for. Why can't you provide it here?
Because am I charging for copies anymore? No.
It was specifically
I had no
asked at the
idea it
last
was a-
meeting, so
I know,
don't
but the
know.
town office is over there. Office hours are 10 to 5. I'm sorry?
We're here. He specifically
I
asked.
think, okay, all
I
right.
see what
Okay.
you're both saying.
I see what you're correct, but I also want to say, we've just been hearing for years about, we're gonna get that money back, don't worry. So, but now I hear rumbles that, well, we still have all these projects to do, and I don't know how much money's coming that's gonna come back before we have all these other projects. I'm just wondering what projects we still have to do. I'm not sure what Ken's wondering, but I know what I'm wondering. I saw two or three quotes come through, that had Jeremy's name, company on them with projects. That's all I remember ever seeing here. 3 quotes that we approved to go off to FEMA. So I don't know if besides that, there's other projects. I don't remember approving other projects to send out to FEMA, so.
You didn't approve, you weren't even involved in the process. Kathy
I
came to some
understand
meetings,
that.
you came, it was emergency management director, town clerk, road commissioner, and FEMA. FEMA did most of the work, entering into the portal.
Right.
We have a list,
But
what
quotes
they
were
come
brought
up
here to the
with,
select board, that's all I'm
with the
asking.
FEMA rates on it, and they came up with a total.
Yeah.
$457,000 or something like that we're getting.
Yeah.
But we just have to be clear on what more we have to do, what's already been done. I have both a list. I just need BIM's help to show what else needs to be done. What on this FEMA list has already been done? Because FEMA didn't do that for us. And we just closed out like 2 weeks ago, closed everything. It's in MEMA's hands.
Gotcha. And I know everything had to be entered, which
We've
they
been
wanted
working,
us to do, but they did it because we didn't have anyone to do it.
we've been working with it for the last year and a half,
Mm-hmm.
and every time they would send someone up, it'd be somebody different.
We have to do it all again.
We had to go all over it again. It was really a pain. But got it done, I guess, finally.
Well, I'm hoping that we can have good, accurate records so that when we have another water issue or whatever issue, that we know, that we have documented in the road work stuff, that we worked on this road and this is what we did.
Of course we
And
do.
not,
I have a
and
whole
hold
Excel
on.
sheet.
I understand you do. The road committee has got to have that information. How can they make plans and work with the road commissioner to figure out priority roads and what still needs to be done? If, well, somebody's got it in their head and you've got it in paperwork, when they have a road committee meeting, they don't know what's been done because we don't have.
That's
that
why I need
information.
to meet with BIM, and he knows to compare the two to get a list of what is left to do.
But all the
And we
work
don't
that's been
have the
on
money.
there, can we get it so that it's in the road stuff so that we have documentation? We're trying to keep a road records, correct, road committee? We're trying to keep road records so that we know this is what was done on this road, 13 culverts, and we did this and this. Here's the years
So-
we worked on it.
You want everything? I just have the FEMA stuff in the Excel. I don't have every
No, I know you don't have
Done.
every year, so they're trying to.
I have it in Trio, but I don't have it ready to go.
So one of the goals of the road committee is to have what work's been done over the last couple of years and keep
On
it
every
up to
road.
date. Right, any work
So
that
no
we did.
one, no road committee member has requested that,
No, not yet, that's why we're asking for information.
but that's not what this is. This is just the FEMA.
Yeah, I
washouts.
understand that, but if we had information on which roads were worked on, they could be putting that into their road.
But that's just the washouts from the storms.
I understand that, but that's one summer, that's all he did. That's a whole summer's worth, all of our summer money went into that. Because we had emergency work
Okay,
all
but there's
summer.
more. There's a lot more that was done other than this list I have ready.
That summer,
Since 22, yeah.
because I know 2 summers ago when Pratt Hill couldn't be worked on, the reason why is because we had tons and tons and tons of water damage. And
There was
I
other work
totally
done.
understand that. We're just trying to, as they asked me about road work, and I want to make sure we're getting information together, so when we do have another emergency, someone says, well, I think that culvert was replaced in 2022, we know if it was 2022 or 2023.
I
Did
can
the
look that
culverts
up.
go in? The road committee needs it.
They haven't requested a thing from me. I'm just,
Jay,
I was just wondering if you're waiting on Jim, does he know? And if he does,
Yes.
do you know when he's planning on doing that? How long have you been
He's-
waiting on him?
we just closed out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so
I
you-
mentioned it last week, but then I thought I was getting sick and Vim can't be near anyone who's sick, so we held off.
So he's well aware of it, and it should be happening pretty quick?
Yeah.
So my statement that you don't have that information available yet, because you're waiting for them to work with you. Because I asked for specific roads and how much money
How much money?
FEMA has awarded to specific roads,
Yeah, I have that.
and how much we spent on that.
I have that separate. I just haven't
So
Put
what
them
are you
together.
waiting for from them?
to see what's left to do.
The roads that haven't been done.
I have every invoice we spent for the 3 disasters. I have the list from FEMA, what they're detailed of what they're gonna pay us. I just have to combine,
So you won't be able to answer my questions until after you.
So when we did that field trip, wasn't when we entered all that information in the portal that,
which time?
um,
We met 16
Yeah,
times.
right. But we kept adding more information and they kept helping us add more information. And so the road status, I think what was pending was, whether the job was complete. And some of the jobs were complete and some weren't,
Right.
is my understanding.
And
Right.
FEMA's not gonna figure that out for us. They just handed it to MEMA
Right.
as
Right.
unfinished.
In the early paperwork, I thought there was included estimates, which I think you were saying were from Jeremy Johnson, on what it would take to finish the road work to close it out,
Yeah, that was one.
is my understanding.
But they use FEMA rates, equipment rates, labor rates. They use their own
Mhm.
rates.
But he already, if I'm following you, he'd already done the estimate to know what was left to be done.
On one job, yeah.
Just on one or on
Mhm.
all of them, because there was
One.
there was a couple of them
No,
that there was,
just
the
one.
status was still incomplete.
There's a lot
There's
that
a-
are incomplete. Plus, we have hazard mitigation,
Uh-huh.
just haven't even gone there. That's to improve the road to prevent damage
Right,
down.
right. So when we went on that field trip, which roads needed mitigation? Because a lot of them were declined. We didn't need it, didn't need it, didn't need it.
I have the list in the office,
Yeah, okay. I was just wondering.
which I gave to you. I shared everything with
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
except for my invoice list.
all right, so Ken, will you be able to go over to the office? I think you probably will want to wait till,
Well, it doesn't sound like she has the information that I'm asking for because she needs to meet with Ben.
Right.
I want to know how much has been spent and how much is available.
I can give you the bottom line, but I can't break it down by road.
Because I sit on the budget committee and we go over road by road. So that's why I asked for it. Okay,
Unless you want to figure
well,
it out.
Wesley?
Okay, I'm on the road committee, and I would very much like to see this information that FEMA has given to us, so we have that on how much has been done in the past already under FEMA, how much still needs to be done, where it was, how much it cost, what they did. Because this is, needs to be looked at hard.
Are they,
And I know for myself, and I speak for the whole, all of the road committee, we all want to know because, I think this,
So that packet that we got last week with the summary, is that?
With the
everything?
amounts we're
Yep.
getting and the list of hazard mitigation work and
Yep.
emergency work and,
Can they have a copy of that?
but that's not gonna tell them.
I'm not gonna tell him what he
Well,
wants.
right.
that's been done, and what we plan to do in the future is gonna have a lot to do with what's on that report.
Exactly, yeah,
So we need to know before we can do our job right.
correct. And, last year, this previous year has been a pretty, it's been a very hard year to be a select board member here. Because getting road work done and getting things done and getting quotes done shouldn't be this hard. And the world has changed. I know not everyone in this room is a computer whiz. This guy is a really great computer whiz. But we need a better process. I don't want to be spending every one of these meetings arguing with people saying, well, I'm not qualified to do a bid, but I want the bid, and I'm not qualified, and you can't tell me this. I want real numbers. I want to be able to it would be great to have somebody that can use a computer. I'm concerned, and I'll say it right out, Kathy, I'm concerned that Al and Kathy right now are on that bid committee, neither one of them can use a computer to do research and do a bunch of stuff. And Al says he doesn't even, text or use a cell phone and doesn't want to use computer work. So it makes it really hard to keep moving forward when we don't have the tools. And if we don't have somebody on the last bid process, Diane Bowen was so helpful. She pulled together a bunch of stuff, got on the computer, did some research on, and talked to different contractors about rates and got together what was necessary with the specialists you guys used. But without those resources, we're gonna be stuck in mud. And we have new policies, the auditor wants us to put things out to bid, we gotta have spending limits and work orders, and it's hard to do that, and we're trying to start early if we don't have the tools we need. And if everyone's saying, well, I'm not gonna use a computer, and I don't want everything to be dumped on Leanne. I don't want her involved if she doesn't have to be. She already has up to here in work. She's there days that the office is closed. We'll be there Saturday till 5, 6 o'clock, almost every Saturday. It's not just the office work, there's a
Why?
lot of legwork.
Did you say why? Motor vehicle reports,
this
end of the month reports,
together.
warrants,
So then
selectmen.
you don't volunteer to do stuff for her because you got so much other stuff to do, what?
That's what I was just saying.
Yeah,
You are-
exactly.
We're just saying-
I'm trying-
Plenty of time to do
I don't
more
want to
stuff.
head in the same direction I did last year, where we are struggling to get even a bid put together. We need
That was,
tools, we need someone that is gonna be willing to work with this road committee, attend road committee meetings. We can document so that we have stuff in place, and then if we get, say, the town gets sued, and they said, when was that culvert put in? We know exactly when that culvert was put in, we know exactly this and that. Yes, I know we have whatever's in somebody's head, or I know that was fault, I have an invoice. It would be great if we had it in, we have a software package. It's not just to look at, we should be using it.
I thought Diane agreed to do that.
She's just stepped off the
Right.
ad hoc
Still
committee, I think
willing
she'll
to-
still be helpful. I'm just concerned because both she and her husband have stepped off of things because of people here in this community that have done a lot of pushback. Very vicious pushback the last.
It's good of her to volunteer to continue. with-
Absolutely, but if your family's being attacked by people
I
in
get
town and on Facebook, it's pretty painful.
it.
I actually personally understand that. Yes, Leah.
Wesley, can you send me an email with exactly what you want? Because she mentioned all roads and you mentioned just FEMA and plus I'll remember if you email me.
Pretty sure you want all the road work for the last couple of years. But again, that shouldn't be coming from Leanne.
the other thing,
What do you mean?
It shouldn't be coming from you, it should be coming from the road commissioner. The road commissioner should be attending these meetings.
Yeah, but he doesn't have all the information on the computer.
Why would that be? Because he doesn't use a computer. We're setting ourselves up to fail again if we don't get ourselves in order. And Leanne, you cannot be the gatekeeper for everybody. You're gonna have a heart attack if we don't help you get things in order. You take on everybody's
My office
stuff.
is in order. You don't think my office is in order?
No, I think your office is in fine order. There's things that we missed that we didn't know we didn't have. What I'm saying is, every person here, the bid committee, our road commissioner, everyone goes to you and you put it in the computer. That's not the way it's supposed to be. People should submit in their own budgets. Ben should do his own budget on the computer. You shouldn't be doing his budget.
I don't do his budget.
The road committee should be documenting with the road commissioner all the road work so that we have it. We can just pull the numbers. You don't have to just go, oh, wait, I got an invoice back here. I'm trying to get everybody back up into this century. And I'm sorry if I'm gonna pull everybody kicking and screaming. Yes, Paula?
It would help the road committee if the road commissioner would work with them. But he's not willing to work with them. He doesn't go to their meetings, he doesn't want anything to do with them,
But it is a part of his requirement as a road commissioner.
but he's not doing it.
He didn't do Pratt Hill check either.
He's not doing his job, plain and simple.
Speaking of that, what is speaking of the plowing,
Oh, you want to talk about
winter plowing?
Yeah.
What is the mileage that they have and how long does it take them to do the work?
49.5 months.
49 miles.
So Dave and I got home at 1:00 in the morning before the storm. I get up Sunday morning to go to church. The road's not even plowed. Go to church, come home, town farm still is not plowed at noontime. Why? Lot of snow on the road and it hasn't even been a sweep down town farm road. Why? We paid them October, November, December, January, February, March, April, $51,000 a month. Those roads should be pristine all day, every day. And they're not. Town farming, last year, I had no issues with snowplow. They did an awesome job on our road. This year, I can say, I'd give them a D on town farm road.
Sometimes with a storm, like this last storm, I was predicting rain. And sometimes with a storm, if we're gonna get freezing rain, you like to leave a few inches in the road.
There was more than a few inches. And
Well,
how do you expect people to go to church and come home on a Sunday? When you guys they could have been up in the morning, 6 o'clock, been out, got the roads all done for people to go to church. I mean, not everybody drives a four-wheel drive, you know. Not everybody does. I drive a Prius, okay? Dave had to bring out the four-wheel drive to go to church. And we came home at noon and the roads still were not even plowed.
At noon?
At noon. I have pictures. I have pictures of both in the morning and at noon. Road was not done.
At noon.
When did it stop? Didn't it rain all afternoon?
No, it
Missed
was
it.
still raining all night. We got some sleep,
No.
but not
I
rain.
missed it, it wasn't.
He doesn't plow it down the road anyway.
I think in Turner it was still sleeting in the afternoon.
Yeah, we didn't get the rain that other towns did. It predicted it.
Good sleep, just a little bit.
Yeah, not a lot.
But I couldn't believe that the road wasn't even done by the time it came out at noon time.
Noon is late.
It was later, at that point, I was just so pissed I gave up.
Sorry, I didn't leave my house. I figured people that have to be out can be out. Sunday it was snowing. I stayed home and I watched church from TV.
I did too.
Actually, I thought they had the 8:30 Sunday school and
Uh-oh.
I got there early and.
Oh,
So we went shopping for groceries again.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk about at open session, is I'm just concerned that we're gonna start this process and it's gonna be like last year, and I cannot have that. We've got to have a better process, we gotta have people that know how to use a computer to be able to, and supervise contractors. That's what this job's supposed to be. We've already got contractors reaching out saying they want to be a part of the bid process, which I think is great. With the contractor that was hazed last year, I'm surprised if he'll come back at all. And it's just like the way our 2 volunteers were just treated, and now they've stepped away. If that's the way we're gonna treat people coming into our town, nothing's gonna change.
Just for an example, there was a positive post that Casper put on Facebook, a positive. And next thing you know, you read the comments, they went in to start slamming YouTube. How that even came about, I have no idea. But you know what? Can't we even have a positive post without this town being negative all the time? All the time. And anybody makes a comment, they attack them. It's just ridiculous. You two are being,
Like Facebook.
on Facebook, being harassed and just being put down for no reason at all. You guys are working hard for this town, and I appreciate all the work you do.
Amen.
Well, we need to start working as a team. We need more help. And we need people that have computer skills. And if people are not gonna do the jobs they were either elected or hired to do, then, or volunteer to do, then we need to move on to someone that will. So that's the reason I brought this up in open session. I'm concerned about continuing with the road commissioner position, that maybe we need someone that has got skills to get online and look at pricing from multiple venues, to be able to send out messages and emails to contractors in the area. Once we build a base, to ask them if they'll come in and look at a job and submit a quote. Someone that can supervise other contractors on the job and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do with the materials they're supposed to do it, in a non-biased fashion, without having a, I think Paul mentioned it the other day, an underlying motive. The town should be, what's best for the town is the underlying motive. That should be what everyone has in mind, is moving this town, keeping things safe, keeping things affordable to live here. So even Rick Gammon moved here. He loves his town. He's even volunteered. So I'm just wondering if a road commissioner isn't outdated now, and maybe we need to look at a road foreman where they have, this is what you're hired, here's the skills you have to have, and this is your job description, and you're a part of that road committee, and you participate, and this is your job, and you work with the select board to get bids ready, and the road committee, and boom.
I really like that.
I think
Why
our
not do the
current
road
one's
committee?
handicapped. I mean, it's just.
You got a road committee, you got a bid committee, you need a road foreman. You
Well,
don't need a road committee.
and someone that's got some good experience, but maybe there's somebody retired, but knows how to use a computer, or used to using the state system, because there's a lot of state resources out there, I think, that we're not aware of, or that we're not using. So, yes, Lee?
Well, just a few minutes ago, it seems to me, Leanne had you sign, well, it's not a warrant exactly, but that we're going to be having an election. And if I'm not mistaken, there were 2 seats available. One is a seat on the select board, the other one.
I'm not sure, I get it.
Am I right?
We do that every year, correct?
Right, and therefore, the road commissioner is going to be up to be elected, and if, in fact, in your infinite wisdom, you decide that a road foreman would be a better idea, my suggestion is that you put that on warrant for town meeting and have it as a warrant article, so that people can decide if that's which way they want to go. At which point, the election will already have been done, so road commissioner will have been elected, but no matter what happens, it wouldn't be taking place at town meeting as soon as it was decided. It wouldn't be until the next year.
Yes,
But
Paula?
Something you're gonna have time to think about.
Yep, yes,
Then
Paul.
why don't we have a special town meeting before that?
Make it.
We would do that. The rule says,
Certainly could.
I think you have to have so many days' notice and,
Night, to change a elected position, either to elected or from elected, you need 90 days before it takes effect.
okay?
Yeah, I don't think we get time.
So that would be,
So if you had a special town meeting now,
yep, if we had it in
It'll be-
March.
we're gonna have nomination papers are due are available March 3rd.
Right,
So if you have a town meeting to change the position, it's not effective until 90 days from the vote.
which would be at town meeting. I mean, if we did a special town meeting, say in March, right, March, and it's 90 days, you said, so
April, May, June, yeah, 90 days.
town meetings, well, we,
10th, so.
the town meeting,
Before March.
special
10th.
town meeting, we would have to vote on it. If we agreed, then would that not mean the road commissioner job ends at the end of his election and then at the end of the term, and then it turns into we go out and do a search for a road foreman?
Advertise.
One of the things you might want to consider is budget when you're looking at a road foreman. Because we can't know what's a road foreman, I can't remember how many tens of thousands it was, but a road foreman is a year-round position. This means all of the requirements for any employee.
Right.
They're gonna qualify, so if I
Part-time.
get wages and et cetera, part-time.
Yeah, it wouldn't be full-time with benefits because they're not plowing, they're not doing road work, they're
No.
just supervising.
That's right, and they're coordinating, they're the ones that would
Well,
be,
my suggestion is to check with Kenton because they went from road commissioner to road foreman.
But do they have a road department with vehicles, equipment?
yes, they have a public works there.
Yeah, they have a very small amount of roads to look after because an awful lot of the roads in Kenton are the state roads, but still.
So are you looking to start a public works department or
No.
still contract out?
Still contract out. It doesn't mean anything's gonna change, we could have the exact same, McNeil Farms could be doing a lot of the summer road work with things we put out to bid. Same thing with plowing, just that we would have a foreman overseeing all that and helping bring in the contractors and setting up the bid process, checking out the prices at all the locations for gravel, stone, who offers this now, and it just seems like it makes
Does the
sense.
commissioner get a fee now?
What's that?
The road commissioner.
When he's paid by the hour. He's paid by the hour, which he hasn't been claiming any hours for several months.
Wow. So he's not really doing it.
So he's disabled.
He's not attending
doing a
meetings, he's
job.
not submitting any reports, he's not, no.
A road foreman could control the roads too. The plowing in the winter, supervise it. There should be some kind of
Yeah,
penalty.
exactly.
If we
Because
got a
it's no
contract,
supervision
they
at
don't
all.
perform, they should be penalized or monitored. That would get them to do the roads the way they should be.
It is in the contract and the selectmen can,
I can't hear you.
it is in the contract and the selectmen have the authority to end the contract or send warning letters or whatnot.
It just, to me, having someone that's got road experience, that was looking for maybe somebody, in the 50s or 60s that wants to work part-time, that is computer efficient, is right in the thick of road stuff now, working with other contractors. It could be such a win for this community, and everyone still stays working. It's just that this person is gonna oversee
And get rid of that
And-
conflict of interest.
and get rid of the conflict of interest that MMA and everybody else always points out. I dread another year like we've just had.
Well, my question is I don't even see how the road commissioner could reapply to be a road commissioner. He's disabled. He can't even get out of the truck to go
It's
anywhere.
up to the.
I mean, how can he even do his job? He's not.
People
Don't vote
vote,
for
and it's a vote, it's
He's
a
not
elected
doing his
office.
job.
It's an elected
I'm
office.
sorry, I can't hear you.
What's that?
It's an elected office, people have to vote for it.
Exactly.
Right, but it shouldn't be a popularity contest, it should be, we need these skills for this job. I mean, we could have a surgeon general, we'll just elect her, but what if that person really had no medical experience, but everybody liked them? Just because they like them doesn't mean that they're the right person for the job. I think we're at a point where this position and the roads and the FEMA and everything else going on, I just think we have to have somebody.
You need a manager, you need somebody who's gonna manage the whole area.
It's just been too long that he's gotten to do whatever he wants to do because we had people on the board that did nothing.
Manager.
I think a town manager is a terrible idea because I think, I saw Camp the other day, he is so overwhelmed, he's like, I can't even start to think of work on that project because he was there about fire department and.
No, I'm just saying about manager for the roads.
And
For the road.
And I'm, right, I just think,
The person who takes care of the roads has to manage the whole thing, what I.
Because it's not, I mean, for a road to go that long without being plowed, somebody's gotta manage
And
that.
have no recourse.
Right,
He
just
paid
let
him.
it go, I
He
mean,
paid him.
and this way the person would have the road experience that we need them to, because we're gonna ask for that in the job description.
And he should have the power to do something.
Correct, to oversee all contractors. And then if there's a problem, where someone's harassing somebody, they can call the road foreman and say, hey, we got people going by yelling things, throwing stuff, knocking over signs as they go by my people. I mean, you guys do understand our contractor we hired, 2 of his employees walked off the job and wouldn't come back.
Wait,
because-
what's that got to do with the roads?
I'm just saying, nobody was supervising.
they were harassed by the townspeople.
That's a police matter. or
And then our
something.
road commissioner never even checked our job out.
Who was supervising them? Because I went down there one day and I was talking to them.
Yeah, I was
And
there every
then
day,
the
Diane.
the next time,
Yeah.
well, Diane should have been really telling him what to do.
Well, the problem is that
Nobody
Diane
knew.
put together the road bid, typed
She
it
should
all
have
up.
been telling him what to do.
Well, who was supposed to tell him?
I went down there one day,
The road
Yes, but Ben
commissioner
should have
should
been the
have
one
been
doing
one, not
and
you.
next time, you know what? Ask me not to be going down there and telling him what to do.
He told me that he had been told by you something that wasn't even on the job spec. He goes, she's told me 3 different things that aren't even on the job spec. of
No,
my
I was
job."
telling him about the riprap.
Well, he
Wasn't
asked
nothing
me,
to
he
do
goes,
with
He was told to bring the riprap so that it sat up off the road because we were gonna put dirt down to raise it 2 inches.
Right.
But we never heard any such thing. So it looked like he was set up for failure. Because
But
everybody was
again-
making fun of him afterwards, like he didn't know what he was doing and he had misinformation.
but I guess this is what I mean, is we need a coordinator. We need someone that can do that so that it's not Kathy one day, me another day. I'm busy, so he talked to Diane, because Diane's when we first showed him what the road was. I know he's talked to Wesley, because Wesley was down. But wouldn't it have been great if we had a road foreman,
Exactly.
that the days he worked, he checked in on the job, made sure the stuff was happening the way it was supposed to, and he was the one on the bid? With the
Get what you
select
pay
board.
for. You get what you pay for.
You have a
We're
lot
not
of
getting
people
what
in
we paid
town that are well qualified to be that road foreman. The next thing is to get them to do it because there's been so much stuff going on.
So much hate.
Yes, hate, rumor spreading, gaslighting, whatever you want to call it. It's been so crazy that people are quitting their jobs.
Right,
Diane.
we're gonna keep losing people if we don't
They
do
do
something.
very good jobs too.
They've done a lot for the
You
town.
can't afford to have good people quitting. And something has got to change here, and, you know.
Yeah.
You gotta call a spade a spade.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. I don't know, I haven't talked about this with the 2 select board members on either side of me. I wanted to bring it up today in open session. I didn't know what the process was, besides that I knew MMA had told me last year that if we were to change the job, it would be 90 days before the election, you had to do that. So,
Right, you're not gonna change the elected position. without the townspeople's.
Correct, which would mean a special town meeting or at town meeting.
Yeah, but that town meeting's too
A
late.
special town meeting, I don't want anyone to go through the
We
process
need to do
and try to win election if we're not gonna have that position. That elected position, so.
All this presumes. that-
I don't think the current one is qualified to do
All this presumes that Ben's gonna run.
He's not qualified anymore, he can't even, how can you hire somebody, elect somebody to do that? That's just
Yes, Jay,
crazy.
yes, Jay.
I heard a comment that we're all assuming that he's gonna run. I don't think it really matters who's gonna run, because we could always end up with the same issue. I like the idea of the road foreman, because it's an employee that can have, you can have a, what's your session called, Sarah?
Executive session.
Session, thank you. You can have an executive session, you can reprimand them, you can guide them, you can change the job description if you want. There's way more that you can do as a board with a foreman to guide him than there is with an elected official, no matter who it is. So I think it's a fantastic idea.
So it's control, because I'd much rather be elected than
Mhm.
appointed, definitely.
And you used to be.
Yes, until when I left and somebody changed it. So it's a control thing.
But if Kathy Lowe was running for town clerk as an elected position, and they decided, yeah, let's elect Kathy Lowe, and she dropped into your position, and she didn't have the qualifications to run the computer, to do the paperwork, to run the office, to.
So you three are smarter than the whole town?
No, I'm just saying, that's the reason why you're the town clerk and you're an employee, because you are qualified to do that job.
Yeah, but I would,
You
it
are
was
awesome
elected.
at your job.
Well, they
I just-
have to meet certain qualifications.
Well, and, we have vacation time for all of our full-time employees get vacation time every year. And I feel terrible that our full-time employees don't seem to have enough available time to take off because
There were coverage.
we just don't have coverage. Because
We
so
have
much
two
falls on
deputy
that
town
person.
clerks.
Pardon me?
We have two deputy town clerks, right? And how, and I hear you talking about full-time employees. Who are the full-time employees?
We only have one.
That's what I thought. Well, you're using the plural, and so I just
Trying to be
checked.
vague.
Somebody else.
I'm
I
just
I
saying-
didn't mean to switch it, it's just a control thing, because you want everyone under your belt.
No.
I want what's right for the town.
I
I want what's right for the town, and I want everyone to be accountable to moving everything forward and communicating with each other. And we can't, unfortunately, I think that now whoever's running roads has got to have so much experience. I mean, many a meeting we sat here and I was told, even the person with 20 years doesn't have enough experience to put a bid together, a spec sheet and stuff. Well, let's get someone in here that can. Because we're jury rigging a system so that Kathy and Al can do the bid system, but basically, someone else has to do all the work before it gets to them. Does that really make sense? Kathy's really smart. And she's got a great component, and I want her to be on stuff. Can you use the computer and get all that done?
The selectmen have been road commissioner in the past for several
This
years.
is true.
That's what.
That's what we're doing now.
That was,
That's what we're doing now.
All of us.
I was first.
Paul is first, girls before
Okay,
boys.
so I just wanted to say, Leanne, the last time that we had an elected town clerk, it didn't work out. So that's why they switched it back to a hiring position. So, but they had to have a special town meeting for that to happen. And I really think that we need to go in that direction for road, to have a road foreman instead of a road commissioner.
Yes, Leslie.
Okay.
One of the first things that you select people need to do, the road committee and whomever else is interested, is you need to write a job description for the foreman. It doesn't have to be great defined details, but it tells you the general job description, so that if you want to go see if he's qualified, he should be able to look at the job description and say, yep. Oh,
And qualifications. Not only his description, but his qualifications.
in the description, write qualifications.
Absolutely.
And that way, whoever wants to do that job, or if you like enough to get anybody who wants to do it,
Right.
they'll,
That's
they'll,
it. Otherwise,
they'll,
it'll be a selection back.
they'll be able to see what it is before they even apply.
Some people don't even put bids in because they've been harassed.
Yes, Peggy?
I just wanted to say, if you're going to schedule a special town meeting, I have come up with a possibility of a second issue to address at that special town meeting. Working on thinking about all the requirements of the LD 203 and the need to do a comprehensive plan, it exists the possibility for the town in a special town meeting to no longer approve the 2008 comprehensive plan, and that would alleviate the risk that we have now that the designated growth zones are still legally binding, because I found it in my emails from MMA, AvCog, and the Maine Department of Agriculture, Conservation, and Farming. I have 3 different opinions that our designated growth zones are still enforceable, even if the comprehensive plan is no longer consistent. So if you want, and the one way you can alleviate that is the town can decide to no longer approve that plan until we get a new one.
Rescind it, essentially.
Rescind it, whatever it is, and I found out that that's a possibility. Then we wouldn't be under any
But
pressure.
then we would have no comprehensive plan at all.
Well, we're working on having one.
Yeah, but
The-
that's
the
not
only-
a
the only- The only key part of it, first of all, comprehensive plan is not required. It's optional. Number 2, we have one that's written, but the primary purpose of having a comprehensive plan is for the land use ordinances. And we have not had a zoning ordinance which has been recommended since 1992. So we're not going to do that until we actually have a comprehensive plan that addresses the current desires for the town for land, the land use parts and where the growth zones are gonna be. I'm just saying that's one way you can alleviate the jeopardy we're in currently, because the last update took 5 years, and I can tell that the rate that we're going now is gonna be quite a while before we get one done, since currently we don't even have a comprehensive plan committee. We only have an update committee, and the update committee is not to actually make a new plan. An update committee is only to monitor the implementation of the revised plan that was adopted by the town. And it's only to make a working list of updates and changes to be made in a subsequent revision. And the update committee is only to prepare an annual report of the progress to the select board. So the current committee we have is not even supposed to write a new comprehensive plan, because for some reason, it's been decided that it's not actually a comprehensive plan committee, it's only a update committee. So we're not even starting the process to write a new plan, the way it stands now. Unless you want to rename it as the actual comprehensive plan committee, which,
That would have to be done at town meeting because we have an ordinance.
no, we have an ordinance that already says that the planning board is responsible for the comprehensive plan. So you don't have to you can rename it, the committee that we have, as the comprehensive plan committee.
At town meeting, because it's an ordinance, the comprehensive plan review committee has an ordinance.
Right, the planning board is responsible for the comprehensive plan, so therefore, if the planning board says it's okay, then we can do it. I mean, I don't see what the.
I think I read that was repealed.
What?
I think I read that jurisdiction over the comprehensive plan was repealed.
Well, it's still in the ordinance hasn't been changed. I'm just saying, that's one way you can get around it. You don't have to have another ordinance to do another comprehensive plan. It's already, It's already been written in the planning board ordinance.
Do we need a whole new plan? I thought really that
We need to have it, you can make as minor change, I was reading about that recently, but if you need to do a whole new land use plan that is submitted to the state, then you have to go through the whole process. It's not just giving suggestions to the select board. I mean, is that what we're doing, is just giving suggestions to the select board?
I think there's so much dust on that 2008 comp plan that we're starting with the review committee to go ahead and see what's already been done. Why would you reinvent the wheel? If there's modifications that need to be made, that's what the review committee is for.
So you haven't even looked at it enough to see how much it has been instituted. I mean,
nothing was really followed up on. It looks like it was
I
created.
mean, you said that you said after the last meeting that you hadn't even read the plan. And in June, you said we needed a whole new plan. How can you say you need a whole new plan when you haven't even read the one that we have?
And it's really funny because in our old emails, you were saying leave it alone and I was saying change it. So.
No, I never said to leave it alone. I said to leave the structure in place. The structure is very well defined, even the stuff that we presented at our meeting from APCOG and even from the state. The structure is still the same. You inventory, you analyze, and then you make a plan of how you're going to do it. The list of things you inventory doesn't change.
We've all agreed that we don't want to be hasty. There's a lot of growth that's taken place, a lot of growth that's still to come, and it just seems like.
So we're only on the revised plan committee. We're not ready to work on writing a new plan.
It sounds like you're really rushing, and I don't understand why. You're pressing and pressing and pressing, and I don't understand why.
I think it'd be better to have more people, more of a, section of our town to be involved.
Right, so we're not getting up to the point of doing a revision of the plan. So
We just started, only met once.
Right.
And everyone, our next meeting's next week.
Yeah, but according to the ordinance, the committee that we have is not going to update the plan. It's only going to give you a list of things to see if the town can do them. We're not going to submit a new map of the town that shows 10% at least of the land area that's going to be designated growth zones. That's going to be given to the state and recognized. We're not even, the committee we have now is not even going to do that. That's not even a goal. It's only to give you a list of where the problems. That's what you intend.
And what are you hoping to do? Just start from scratch?
No, that was what your term was. I said we would look at the inventory of all the things, get all the new data, look at the new data and see how it's changed, look at the different topic areas and see, according to that long list from the state of all the questions you asked about each topic area, have you considered this, have you considered this, have you considered this, and mesh those things together and say, well, this is okay, this we need to change. This we need, okay, this we need to change. Okay, how are we going to change it? We're going to change it this way. And how are we going to affect that change? We're going to do these things to affect that change. It's
Which is why I thought we have this committee that we're going to be breaking it all down into groups and all working on different sections.
Yes, but we're only doing this to make recommendations to the select board according to the ordinance. You're not planning to write a plan to send to the state. You're not doing this to send something to the state to have it recognized.
I'm pretty sure that's the plan.
It is, well, it's not in the ordinance. The ordinance doesn't say that at all. It's going to give recommendations to the select board. And if you want it,
So why couldn't the select board take what the committee recommends and send that to the state?
are you going to write a 50 to 100 page document as a
I'm
select board?
assuming that the committee is going to be putting stuff together.
Well, then it's a planning committee. It's not a revised. It's not an update committee. It's not giving you suggestions. It's writing a plan. You don't understand the difference between those two.
No, I do understand. I thought the 2008 plan was a great base for us to start with, and we were going to update it and make changes based on what we
Right,
needed
so if that's
to
the
do.
goal, then that's what the committee is. The It's a comprehensive plan,
We're
it's not,
updating it.
it's not a revision, it's not revisions to send to the select board. It's a revision to send to the state so that it gets approved and then the town decides if they want to pass it. You don't, well,
It seems like we're just mincing words in that,
well, read
That's
the
all I can-
ordinance for the update.
Where does it say it in the planning board ordinance?
Pardon?
Where does it say that you're in charge of the comprehensive plan in the planning board ordinance?
The planning board ordinance, it says, Article 4, the board shall prepare a comprehensive plan as defined by 30 MRSA Section 4961.
And I believe that's been repealed.
And that was not repealed. That's in the current ordinance. It's not been repealed.
No, I'm talking about this state statute reference.
What section? I
No,
don't see it.
Yes,
4 is
The
hearings.
reference is erroneous now, but it's the same statute that covers it. The number of the ordinance has changed, but it's still the same, the content is still the same. And when comprehensive plans were designed by the state, the select board was allowed to designate a planning board to be responsible for the plan. And that is what had happened in the town of Hartford. That's why it says it in our ordinance.
I wasn't involved. I have two more people that are trying to talk about other stuff that.
Okay, all right, well, anyway, so,
Yes, Ken, you were
I
first.
mean, I don't really want to be involved in a group that's just going to give you suggestions and not write the plan. That's going to be sent to the state.
Well, I guess I didn't understand that that's what this committee was. From my understanding, we were all getting together to update the plan.
Well,
And
read
that's-
the update ordinance.
Well, that's not what, you see, I guess I didn't go to the ordinance and say, how do I brush my teeth today? I thought that we were all working on the comprehensive plan. We got a big committee together with lots of different awesome people, that we were gonna work together and make,
Well, then
Update
can
it
we
and
call it
make
the
changes.
comprehensive plan committee instead of the update committee, and then we
No,
will be
they
working
can't.
on the plan.
Why can't the comprehensive plan review committee do all the work and then send it to the planning board for approval? Or review, or,
But recommendations are not the same thing as writing a narrative report to get sent to the state that's gonna be 5,200 pages long.
well, you
want
can
the
help
planning
us.
board to
You
write
can
it?
help us.
What?
You can help us.
Well, but your review committee is not charged with writing anything that's going to be a full plan, that's all I'm saying.
I'm sorry, Ken. Thank you for your patience.
Oh, thank
And
you.
thank you, Peggy, 'cause
Sorry?
I understand where you're coming from, Peggy, that if we had a special town meeting, we could have other things brought up, such as administrative ordinance part 2, revisions that the ordinance committee has worked so hard on. So we can incorporate a few things in this special town meeting and let the legislative body of the town make the decisions on what goes forward and what doesn't. Isn't that how towns operate?
Instead of having this one topic,
Yeah, so we could have a few topics.
which would make town meeting not as long, or at least not make it as long as we did all this before.
I think
We'd still have plenty to vote on that day.
It's a great idea to schedule a special town meeting to go over the issues that you have discussed, administrative ordinance part 2. Solar ordinance has been.
We won't be ready for that, though. The administrative ordinance hasn't been reviewed by the lawyer or anything.
Well, how long does it take them to review it? He's had it for 4 weeks.
I know. A long
So maybe a phone call to get that done, so it would be.
I know, but we still have to have a public hearing. They
So
have
let's look at
to.
the cup being half full instead of half empty. We can make it work if we want to, if we put the energies towards it. And we can incorporate a few other things to have a special town meeting and justify it. It's nothing against our current road commissioner or any potential road commissioner. It's just the process that this town needs to follow best for the whole town. Let the legislative body make that decision in a special town meeting for this, administrative ordinance 2, or whatever else that you already have scheduled for June. Bring it in now. Make the town meeting small in June, sure. Half full, not half empty. Thank you.
Jay?
Well, I was gonna say, why not keep a review committee going? I don't wanna jump back on the bandwagon, I don't want this to open up into another conversation, so I'm just gonna say it and be done with it. Why not keep a review committee to find out how much it's actually going to change? If it's just a little bit, then it can be changed just a little bit. If it's, the review committee realizes that it's too much and the whole thing needs to be redone and rescinded and reprieved or whatever else we were gonna use, then go from there. But, why stop something that's in motion? Let's see what happens.
I'm just asking to drop one word from the name of the committee.
But you need to review it to find out how much work it really needs, is what I'm saying.
Well, you only knew how much
But
data.
anyways, I didn't want to get into a conversation about it again, I just want to say my piece.
All right, Kathleen,
So
you're the last.
a meeting, you need at least, what, 2 weeks for it to go in the paper for a public?
It depends. We may need a public hearing, depends what's on it.
So you might not have enough time to get it done before March 10th unless you can squeeze in.
What's March 10th?
It would have to be March 14th, it's 90 days. It has to be,
90 days.
in order to make that change, don't you have to have 90 days before?
It's not in effect until 90 days after the vote.
Okay.
But nomination papers are going to be turned in, absentee ballots are going to be available. I think someone needs to contact MMA Legal if you're serious.
You get like 2 weeks before.
MMA Legal said that we had to allow for 90 days.
Yeah, but did you ask them when you contacted them about the current election coming up?
No, when I talked to them, it was months ago when we were in the middle of chaos, and they said, you should consider changing that position. And I said, what would take that? And they go, you're gonna allow 90 days before your election to notify people, and you're gonna have to print to vote, and that's all I'm repeating is what
Well,
they
if you're
said.
serious, I would contact MMA Legal and say that nomination papers are available March 3rd, and we have an election already scheduled. What's the process? Does it just cancel it out if you have a special town meeting?
Wouldn't you have to schedule the town meeting tonight? You'd have to schedule it tonight.
It's not on the agenda. It's not on the agenda. This is open session.
It's open session, we can put it on the agenda, it's
You're
open.
not supposed to.
Why not? Isn't that what
'Cause
open session is?
You're supposed to only vote on items that are on the agenda.
Open session is supposed to be informational, not decisional.
So if I contact MMA, where else do we start? I pull an executive session and then we do it?
Executive session?
We have to vote to have a town meeting.
It wouldn't be executive.
In order to vote to have a town meeting, don't you have to pull a special select board?
That's up to you if you're in a rush. I would talk to
Well,
them
I'm not in a
first.
rush. I'm trying to meet, you just told me I have to get everything done quick, so I wanted to,
We would be in a rush.
it sounds like I'm in a
No,
rush.
you need to talk to MMA Legal and tell them that we have, did I spit on you?
Yeah, no problem.
And tell them our election schedule, which is starting very soon.
Yeah.
And what will happen if we have a special town meeting we're gonna have to change the secret ballot method of election, and what if people have already taken papers out, and it depends what you're voting on, whether we have public hearings, 10 days before the meeting.
All right, I'll
Can
call.
you change the date of the town meeting?
No,
No.
we put that in place ages ago.
Just,
Well, I'll contact them and maybe maybe the process would be that we have to notify the people that take out papers for road commissioner are aware that if it gets voted for a road foreman, then that position will no longer be on the ballot.
I don't know. You would have to talk to them. I don't know how that
Talk to
works.
MMA.
Can we vote to turn town clerk to elected again?
Can we put what?
Town clerk to elected again?
I just heard Paula say
I
that
don't
didn't
care.
work.
Okay. If there's nothing else, this meeting is adjourned. Oh, no, Rick Cameron.
If the town had confidence in the select board to hire a constable who has power to fine or cite somebody, and a health officer to take care of the town, why couldn't the select board appoint a road foreman? I mean, they're both professionals.
Well, why don't you guys take the position of road commissioner between the three of you and just leave it to you guys?
Because it's too much work and we are not qualified.
You hired a health officer and a constable.
Kathy, you're gonna go out and check all the prices, get on the computer and do all that stuff.
No,
She right, Kathy?
no.
Wait a minute, that constable been
She
doing-
was, she was.
She's too far
And a
up.
foreman?
She's too far up Bim's. You know what? Just my opinion.
That's just my opinion.
I see her go by the house all the time, so I know where she's going.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, and for a lively meeting, and we all have our homework. Thank you all for coming.
Do you want to keep? I just need the back page. Thanks.
Did you decide that the code of ethics that we had was not efficient? It was only 2 years old.
No, it wasn't. It was more than 2 years. It was more than 2 years old. We've had that forever, the old one.
Yeah, it is.
Right, but still, private
You got two for West Coast, you got 5-4 for 5-4.
They have.
So. It was a small. Is West Coast you? Is it you?